based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back to throw, time, surveying, looking, throws as he's hit, and it's picked off. That's intercepted at the 40-yard line. Party on, Trayton Stukes with the pick.
Party on? Is that what Brian Jeffrey said there? Party on, Trayton Stukes? Trayton Stukes, one of the Wildcats in Frisco, Texas today. Big 12 Media Days. Day number 2, the second and final day. The final 8 teams presented their case for why their seasons are going to be good in the Big 12 Conference. The Arizona Wildcats were among those teams today. We had a chance to hear from the head coach, Brent Brennan. We carried that press conference for you earlier today. If you missed it, we will have that for you again coming up in the 4 o'clock hour around 4:40. Noah Fifita was there, the quarterback. That was, I think, maybe the one big takeaway that I had from Big 12 Media Days is just the sheer number of quarterbacks that are returning in this league. It seems like everybody's got a quarterback this year. And apparently Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes have 2 because he brought both of them, saying today, I brought them both because I don't know who's going to start.
He's also the only coach who brought his kicker, DK.
Yes, he did. Brought his kicker. I heard he brought Michael Irvin, too. Michael Irvin.
He did. I saw
the
a hug.
playmaker was there.
I saw a hug, right before he went up on stage.
Playmaker was in the house supporting his guy. We had a chance to hear from Deion Sanders. Again, we had mentioned yesterday he has been a little under the health scare this spring and has missed a bunch of time there in Boulder, but appears to be back. Looked good. Looked like he was walking fine. He's had some circulation issues, but it was good to see him up there and good to see his jovial personality up there. He talked about how much he loved Brett Yormark today. For Brett checking in on him. Said every day checking in to make sure he was all right and his mind was right when he was going through his health issues this spring. He was sending out a lot of love today with Deion Sanders.
First thing out of his mouth was his love for Brett Yormark. But, guys, Dragon Ball, the distance from the backstage to the stairs to where he sat has to be a good 150 feet, and I didn't see any issues with him moving. So it's really good to be able to see Primetime out there moving well, knowing the circulation and the amputated toes and that kind of stuff. I mean, and the first 4 questions, DK, were literally about his personal health.
Yeah.
So, clearly people can.
He was like, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about my team and my guys. And, again, this is going to be an interesting year for them because they don't have Shadir Sanders, his son, at quarterback. He's got to find out which one of those 2 young men. He raves about them both. So I would imagine they're both kids that can play the game. And can they continue to do the things that they've done? He talked about the fact that they're sold out this season at Folsom Field. That's always a positive. And you've got to promote the things. He always has a list. That's one thing I like about a Deion Sanders press conference. He always has a list of things. He'll roll out some statistics for you as well. He comes prepared. He comes prepared for sure. And I love the fact that he made sure that one of the lady reporters got a chance to ask the first question at his press conference today. He's always watching out for the women that work in our business and do a fine job. So again, he's a guy that gets a lot of hate, but also does a lot of things the right way. Does Deion Sanders. So good to see him back up there, and you'll hear from Deion Sanders coming up a little bit later. We're gonna hear from several coaches in the show today. Rich Rodriguez back in the Big 12. Rich Rod had a pretty good run here at the University of Arizona as the head coach. Did not maybe necessarily end that well in terms of some things off the field, some lawsuits, some indiscretions and family indiscretions, that type of thing. But he has rebuilt his career, went down, was an assistant coach at a number of places, got a chance to run another program at Jacksonville State, which a mid-major, and did some winning there, as Rich Rodriguez is known to do, and has now got himself another opportunity at the place where he first made a name for himself at West Virginia in Morgantown. And so it's good to see Rich Rod back on the dais talking some football. I always liked Rich Rodriguez. The thing about Rich Rodriguez when he was here, and it's more so the way that he, and this was something I had said kind of when he got hired, it's like, he doesn't necessarily recruit a lot of guys that are going to play at the next level. Like, you're not going to, there were not a lot of NFL guys on Rich Rodriguez's teams in West Virginia. I believe maybe less than 5 or 6 during the time he was there. Maybe had a few more talented kids at Michigan, but he knows how to recruit kids to fit the way that he wants to play the game offensively. And he was very successful here. I believe he averaged close to 8 wins while he was here at the University of Arizona. Had the one down season where what happened? He had a quarterback injury. Anu Solomon got knocked out. I think it was like that was the season after. He got knocked out in the 15 season, and then they had all kinds of quarterback issues in that 16 season when they took a step back, and I believe they only won like 3 or 4 games that year, but bounced back in 2017, his final year here, went to that bowl game and had a chance to beat Purdue. That was the night I think Khalil Tate threw 5 touchdown passes, but just could not get that final drive completed to come from behind and beat the Purdue Boilermakers up in San Francisco, or else that would have been another 8-win season. And that was the thing I always said is especially here about Arizona, if you can win, if you can be in a position to win around 8 games a year, there's going to be those seasons where you fall into, you're good enough to fall into 10 wins, 11 wins like they did in 2014 when they won the Pac-12 South Division title, sniffed the college football playoff, and then had a chance to go and play in the Fiesta Bowl. Obviously, that season ended, with 2 straight losses. You get blown out by Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game, and then you lose a close game up in Phoenix on a cold New Year's Eve to the Boise State Broncos. But still the most successful season of Arizona football that we've seen during my tenure here, which is now beginning an 18th season covering this program. But Rich Rodriguez, I thought, was a very successful head coach here at the University of Arizona, so I'm not surprised that he has found his way back into a high major Division I position.
So Arizona's been to 13 bowl games in the last 30 years, and he went to 5 out of 6 years.
Yeah.
So, if you want to measure success by, whether or not you play in the postseason, there is no doubt. A lot of people, I think, had issues with the defense at the time.
Right.
The style of play might not have been up everybody's alley, but the idea of winning enough to go to 5 bowl games in 6 seasons as a head coach says all you need to know.
And I want to get into something here right now, and when we'll play a couple of these cuts. We'll play you the full Brent Brennan press conference a little bit later, but I do want to play this one part because it's one of the things that when I've talked about how in the past I felt that Rich Rodriguez was very successful here at the University of Arizona. One of the pushbacks that I get from people on that was that when Rich Rodriguez was here, they never really played anybody in the non-conference, so they always had that 3-0 record. Because, you play the 3 non-conference games, and usually those games are not against lower-level competition. He always had that 3-0 record coming out of the non-conference. So really all you got to do at that point is win 3 games, 3 out of your 9 Pac-12 games at the time. you could go 3-6 in the Pac-12 and still qualify for a bowl game because you really didn't play anybody in the preseason. It's one of the reasons why I've always said that I prefer a non-conference schedule in which you play. You can play one FCS team, and we do that every 2 years with Northern Arizona. And I think it's important for the Wildcats and the Sun Devils to continue that relationship in state here with Northern Arizona. I think you should always play a comparable FBS team to your situation. And when I say comparable, I'm talking about in terms of Arizona, teams like Indiana, Illinois from the Big Ten, the Mississippi States that we've seen Arizona play. They've played Iowa several times during my tenure here. Teams like that are comparable level of competition to you. You don't have to go out and schedule LSU, which they did during the Stoops years and got their brains beat in. You don't have to go out and schedule Penn State like they did the year after they won 12 games here in 1998, but schedule that comparable team from another, back in the day, Power 5, now Power 4 conference. You know, a team from the ACC, a team like maybe a Vanderbilt from the SEC, a Missouri from the ACC. I'm not talking about going out and scheduling Alabama or any of those, Georgia, but schedule one of the other teams that's comparable to you in terms of competition level. That's one of the things I'd always said. And then I always felt like you should schedule a group of five team from one of the lower end Division I conferences, whether that's a San Diego State, whether that was a New Mexico or a New Mexico State. Regional games, I've always been a fan of regional games because I think those are good to play those teams that are close to you, that are on that level, Division I level as well. So that was a topic of conversation over the course of the last few days in terms of non-conference scheduling. First, I want you to hear what Kalani Sitake, they did some coaches roundtables this year. I don't think they did that last year in Las Vegas. I think this was the first. That was something new this year, where they had all the coaches of the day get up there and they had kind of a roundtable discussion.
One of my favorite aspects of this last few days.
Right.
Okay, I watched both of them, and the idea of it's like a political debate. So you have like a question from a moderator, and all 8 coaches on the stage all get to weigh in. So hearing all of their different thoughts on the singular questions of the day, transfer portal, NIL, it's a really, really good format.
Let's hear Kalani Sitake, what he said when they talked about this. So I believe he was on yesterday, correct? J-Dub, I believe. Kalani?
Correct. Yeah, he was the first head coach to go in yesterday's 8.
Right. This is when he was asked about non-conference scheduling yesterday.
Yeah, I think we got 3 non-conference games, and so why don't we just play the other 3 conferences for the 3 non-conference games? Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple, says Kalani Sitake. I like that. I mean, that's basically what I'm talking about, what I've been talking about for years. Play those other big leagues. Play teams from the Big Ten. Play teams from the ACC. Play teams from the SEC. That's the kind of non-conference football I think most of us want to see. Play those teams. Brent Brennan was asked about Kalani's proposal today. Here's what he had to say.
I love Kalani, but I tend to disagree with Kalani all the time. I'm just kidding. Kalani and I worked together a long time ago, and we're dear friends. But I would say I think anything that we can get on the same page where everybody in college football is doing the same thing, I'm all for that. So whether that's how we schedule, how we rev share, how we NIL, how we recruit, what the calendar is, I'm all for that. But the scheduling is done so far in advance, I don't get to weigh in on those things normally. You know what I mean?
That's the other aspect, DK.
Right.
Is how far ahead of time are these schedules put together?
Right. I mean, and a lot of times, they're working on games now for 2033 and that type of thing. When Brent Brennan might not even be here in 2033, so you're essentially working on the next coach's schedule. But I think there's a good point there. There's a very good point there that Now, I don't. I'll repeat what I said earlier. I think in terms, I don't. The problem that you're going to run into here is you're going to ice out the FCS schools, and I think part of that has always been because you see Ohio State. Ohio State plays a lot of those games in state. They'll play the Akrons and the Kent States and all of those to give those teams again. That's a very good payday for those smaller programs that they need. So I don't want to necessarily see those relationships and those opportunities for the mid-majors to go away, because I think it's very important to their health, and I think we have to look at the health of the game as a totality and not just the health of the game as it relates to the Bull subdivision, whatever we call it now. So I want to see that continue, but I don't know that you need to play 3 of those games.
The problem, right, I think the underlying problem here is, like, for instance, the Crimson Tide, 15 years ago, they wouldn't leave the state of Alabama prior to their 4th game. Right. So they would play a bunch of, even D2 level schools. And that's great because just like Flagstaff, just like the Lumberjacks Dragon Ball, that's a payday for that smaller school in state. So that is a good thing in some ways. However, when you get ranked number 1, number 2 in the country, and you don't see any challenge until your 3rd week of your conference season, there's really nowhere to go down from there. And that's where, like we talked about yesterday, DK, if a conference starts out the regular season with 10 or 12 preseason top 25 teams and they don't play anybody in the non-conference, just do the math. I mean, they will always keep 6 or 7, 8 teams. Even some of those teams go 500 that were picked to be preseason top 22. They're still going to remain because of the strength of schedule.
You don't have many games in a college football schedule as it is. And if you're playing 3 games against, to put it bluntly, with those high-end programs, you're playing cupcakes in the first 3 games of the schedule, you're not really giving yourself a whole lot to be done. That's why back when we did this with the computers, if anyone remembers the complications of the BCS system, you couldn't afford to do that often. But now all of a sudden, you have it basically where it's completely within the human eye. You're getting into the college football playoff based on the votes and how everyone sees you. And they're not paying attention to those first couple of games. No one does. No one treats those as anything more than the preseason schedule for NFL teams. That's the kind of importance you give those early games in college football. But in the end, you're seeing the conferences shrink and shrink and shrink in size in regards to the scope. Obviously, they're not shrinking in size. The Big 12 now has, 16, 17 teams. They should be the Big 17 now, but they're still the Big 12. So you're seeing the amount of competition abroad so much smaller than what it used to be. You can't afford to play those 3 or 4 in-state schools anymore to have that chance to be in the competition, because even then, BYU, by all intents and purposes, they were a college football playoff team. But a lot of people saying, but their early schedule, how are we going to gauge them compared to like a Texas or any of these other schools like that?
Big 12 having 16 is nothing. The Big 10 has 18.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Love to hear your thoughts on it. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Would you like to see Division I Power 4 teams move to a non-conference schedule that is against other Power 4s? Would you like to see them maybe keep 1 game against an FCS team? So it would be 1 game against an FCS team, 2 games against Power 4 competition, or and again, I don't know, like if we're just going to include the mid majors in that as well, but that's a conversation obviously for down the road as we go along and continue to talk about the potential of what college football is going to look like as we move forward. All right, much more coming up for you. We're going to hear from Brett Yormark again today, so we'll let you hear the Q&A part of his press conference at the Big 12 Media Days. That is next. What does he have to say about the 16-team playoff potential? You'll find out straight ahead. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes with traffic and weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Park and Ajo and Park Avenue, Grant Road and Oracle, Silverbell and El Camino del Cerro, and also Speedway and Craycroft, and road work on Park Avenue, 36th Street to north of 22nd. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86, the low 109 tomorrow, 112 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's July and we're celebrating Independence Day all month. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants to buy your old air conditioning unit. For the month of July, we will buy back your old AC unit for $1,776 with the purchase and installation of a new air conditioning system. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, keeping you cool all summer long. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetMGM Network. We're going out west and taking the over in the Diamondbacks-Padres matchup. Brandon Pfaadt is going for the Diamondbacks with an ERA well over 6 when pitching on the road. Meanwhile, Dylan Cease is on the mound for San Diego, 3-8 with a 4.62 ERA. But the Diamondbacks are the best team in the sport against righties. We expect a lot of runs. Take the over between the D-backs and the Pods. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app. The Phoenix Mercury got a win today. Day game up in Phoenix. They beat the Lynx 79-71. We'll dive into that a little bit later. The Lynx had been unstoppable coming into that game today. So a big win at home for your Phoenix Mercury. Big 12 Media Day is wrapping up in Frisco, Texas today. The Arizona Wildcats were on the dais. You heard a little bit from the commissioner of the Big 12 yesterday, Brett Yormark, his opening statement. We did not get a chance, though, to play you his question and answer segment that he had with the media, where he dove a little bit into his thoughts on the potential new 16-team playoff in college football that will potentially look like a 5-11 format, at least if the Big 12 has their way. That would be 5 automatic qualifiers for the top conference champions, and then the 11 at-large bids. Let's hear from the commissioner on that and a whole lot more about the Big 12 Conference.
How you doing, Brett?
It's good to see you, my friend.
You too. This is your 3rd anniversary as commissioner of the Big 12. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
How would you evaluate the improvement and changes of the league since you first arrived?
Great question, and thank you for that. And I'm going to give that answer in a moment. I'd be remiss if I didn't wish my son a happy birthday on his 21st, which is today. I know he's watching, so Drake, I love being your dad. So Brett, to your question, I'm thrilled with where the Big 12 is right now. You know, 3 years ago, I didn't walk on the stage. I sat on the stage, which was a little uncomfortable for me. And I said I wanted to modernize this conference. I wanted to be more contemporary. I wanted to get on the consciousness of future student athletes. I wanted to create a foundation that would enable us to succeed. I wanted to be a national conference. I wanted to double down with ESPN and Fox. We've done all of that and more. I love the trajectory of this conference. I love where we're going. Our schools are making incredible investments in infrastructure, performance, and student athletes. It's everything I could have wished for when I took this job 3 years ago, but I will tell you, we're just getting started. This conference is today not the best version of itself, but we will be sooner than later. And as I said earlier, we have a unified board, an incredible group of ADs. We share in the vision for this conference, and I'm excited about our future. But thank you for the question.
Gentleman in the, is that a tan blazer, I believe?
Yeah, I'll call it that. I think that's about
Great.
right.
I like that tan blazer.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Brett, I'm wondering, what could good attendance and a successful kickoff game in Ireland this August mean for future Big 12 international expansion? And I'm Ben Hutchins with the Quad City Times.
Yeah, great question. Listen, I've been on the record to say that I want this conference to be a global conference. I think we can win globally, big time. Playing in Ireland, obviously, is that first step. We'll return there next year, as I said in my opening comments. There's a good chance we'll be in Mexico City next spring for baseball. Baylor's kicking off, the women are, the basketball season in Paris this year. And we're having conversations with other countries throughout the world that are very interested in bringing the Big 12 to their marketplace. So I think the game in Ireland is an impetus, if you will, for future global expansion. and I'm all in on it. I think it's critically important, for our conference. Thank you for your question.
Great. We'll go to Big 12 legend Barry Trammell.
Barry, it is great to see you. You asked me, I think, my first question 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Do you remember that?
I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, I think it was about the TV deal, or maybe it was about Oklahoma and Texas. I don't know what it was. But
it was some nonsense.
Yeah, it was some nonsense. You're right. But go ahead, my friend. Good to see you.
You mentioned the Big 12 support for 511 model. Last season, the committee didn't show much respect to the Big 12 in its final rankings. Is there a tightrope you have to walk when you're trying to decide whether to support the 511 or the automatic qualifiers? Getting two automatics might be enticing after the respect that the committee failed to show you.
I have a lot of faith in the selection process. I was recently in North Carolina. We had a CFP meeting that was hosted by the executive director, Richard Clark, who is here today. Welcome, Richard. They are doing a full audit of the selection process to figure out how they can modernize and contemporize, and how they use data, and how certain metrics can be more heavily weighted. Most importantly, they have a great leader, Mack Rhoades of Baylor. And I have a lot of faith in Mack Rhoades and the work he's doing with the selection committee. So I have a lot of faith in what they're doing. And 511 is fair. We want to earn it on the field. It might not be the best solution today for the Big 12, given your comments about AQs. But long term, knowing the progress we're making, the investments we're making, it's the right format for us. And I'm doubling down today on 511. And I know Jim Phillips will, and I'm sure some of the other conference commissioners will as well.
Go ahead.
Tyler Budge, CF Budge, kind of piggyback.
Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brett. How are you?
Is this your first media day?
It's not. It's like 4 or 5 at this point.
Okay, good to see you.
Thank you. Kind of in the same vein with the 511 model, it's been talked about how some of the criteria for the committee might change with the adoption of that model, at the promise of factoring in strength of schedule more heavily. I know you just touched on it a little bit, but talking about those factors changing and the criteria changing, how does that factor into your support of that model?
Listen, I'm going to defer to Richard Clark. He's here today, but I think as you look at how things are weighted, the different metrics, strength of schedule matters. And there's some new metrics that are going to be brought into the puzzle, I think, as well, to complement what's already there. So again, I'm confident we'll get to the right place, and ultimately I'm confident we'll go to 511.
Great. We'll go to Melissa. While we wait for the mic, everyone should know Melissa, who's about to ask this question, was my 7th grade basketball coach.
So where's Melissa?
Make sure you show her the love. And I also was team MVP. Not that anyone has, but.
I don't know if we need to verify the team MVP thing, Clark, but I'm going to let you have it.
Melissa,
still send my box score.
Melissa, was he any good?
Listen, Clark was the best player on a very middle school basketball team. That's
what I do best. Best out of mid.
So you're saying he was an outlier on a team that wasn't that good?
You know what? I like the way that you phrased that. That's why you're up there and I'm down here, right?
Okay. All right. Clark, congratulations. Okay.
I feel like we've derailed this whole thing, but it actually segues nicely into my question. So thank you, Clark. Melissa Treebwasser with Frogs Insider.
Nice to see you.
You mentioned doubling down on women's basketball in the Olympic sports in an era of rev share where I would say every fan base wants every dollar thrown to football. What is that practically going to look like in this conference?
I can't speak for our schools because obviously they determine how they want to slice the pie, if you will. But I can tell you in conversations, women's basketball matters. And it matters to our conference. We want more linear exposure for our games, which we're working on. And, from a conference perspective, we're looking to elevate and amplify women's basketball in all the right ways. Candidly, last year I went to more women's basketball than I did men's basketball. I've become a big fan. So we're going to work to double down, as I mentioned in my comments, and I'm excited about where we're going. Thank you for your question.
Next question.
How you doing, Brett?
How you doing?
I'm Jared Ramirez with RedRaidersports.com.
Red Raider, did you say?
Red Raider Sports, yes, sir.
Okay, and is this your first media day or not?
That's my second one.
Second. How do you like the setup versus Vegas?
I wasn't in Vegas last year. I went to Arlington the year before that.
But what do you think about it here?
It's pretty nice.
You like it?
Yes, sir.
It feels big?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, good.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
Yes.
Awesome.
The stage is nice.
The stage is nice?
Yes.
Great.
You've put a big emphasis on expanding the conference's brand nationally and globally, like with the partnership with the WWE. Have you seen that partnership impact the conference, and do you have any more details on like future plans with the WWE?
We're going to make an announcement when, Tyrell? Tomorrow. So I can't give it to you today, but we're making an announcement regarding WWE. We're going to double down with them. I can tell you that when we do collaborative activations, the engagement on social media is the highest we experience from a conference perspective. They are a terrific partner. They've been with us since day one. They continue to grow with us, and we'll have an announcement tomorrow that will answer your question. But be rest assured, they're part of our plans today and moving forward. Thank you.
Go to Mitch Harper with KSL.
Yeah, Brett, right over here.
Oh, good. Now, you've been here a couple of years.
You know me. I'm always here.
How are you today?
Doing great, Brett. Mitch Harper, KSL Sports in Salt Lake. I'm curious, you mentioned that you believe this is the deepest football conference in America. How critical is it, though, for your league to have one or two brands that emerge annually as playoff contenders in your viewpoint?
Critical. I like how you stated that. You know, I think parity matters, and I think ultimately over time, and it's hopefully sooner than later, there'll be a couple of our schools that will emerge, you know, as elite schools that are always part of the conversations at the highest levels, and that's what we're working towards. But it starts with parity and being competitive top to bottom, and I think we're there. And I think we're the best in the conference, or in the country, when you think about how deep we are, top to bottom. But I do believe that long-term, you need certain schools to emerge to the top, and I think we're getting there. But great question. Thank you.
Right here, Commissioner. Hello.
Nice to see you.
Max Pado, Walter Cronkite Sports Network.
Is this your first?
This is my first media day.
What do you think?
It looks great. Absolutely great.
Have you experienced any other conference media day?
I've watched them on TV, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner. My question, the coaches and athletic directors made the decision to forego the preseason media poll. Obviously, it's no secret Arizona State was picked to finish dead last. Is this a trend that we're going to see across the rest of the sports, including basketball and others? How involved were you in that decision? And do you feel like that this is maybe a positive trend, that foregoing preseason media polls is the best for the sport?
Well, it was the coaches poll for our conference, and I think it disadvantaged Arizona State last year. They were picked 16th, and I think that hurt them. And Scott Draber, our chief competition officer, and I discussed this. I think there's no value. And I also feel that with the transfer portal and with roster management and what goes on, you know, as you build that roster, no one knows what they really have. They know what they have on paper, but it hasn't played out. And that was the case with Arizona State last year. So I don't know if it's a trend or not, but certainly it's the right thing for the Big 12, and I'm glad we did it. But thank you for your question.
I'll just add on to that real quick as our department kind of runs the media portion of that. It is not indicative of a future trend in any other sports. This is solely a football decision. Obviously, any future sport decisions will be unrelated to this one. Now we do have one last question. I apologize.
Where's that?
Hi, Commissioner.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Joe Londergan with Latavius Murray's Knights 247. Regarding the media poll that the last gentleman just asked about, sorry about the feedback, but I guess is cutting back on that a way to eliminate any misperceptions of teams that are in the running for the college football playoff as well?
Well, I mean, I guess collectively, you know, that could be some rationale. But for me and for the conference, we don't want to disadvantage any of our schools, because again, with roster management and the transfer portal, no one knows really what they have until they take the field. And I think it was the right decision for us, and I'm happy we made it. But thank you again.
All right, that is the commissioner of the Big 12 Conference, Brett Yormark. We'll dive into a few of the things he said there, and that was from yesterday. So they did unveil the relationship with the WWE. We'll talk about that, where the WWE is going. They are coming to State 48. on this tour.
No woohoo from you, Dragon Ball?
Nah.
DK on the Sports Tip will have that for you. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported crash on 22nd Street near Tucson Boulevard. Some eastbound backups on 22nd approaching Tucson Boulevard. Westbound I-10 near Craycroft, Ina, and Thornydale. Park Avenue and Ahaway, and also Grant Road and Oracle. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86, the low 109 tomorrow, and 112 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between, you'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
We pass them on the streets every day. Our homeless neighbors are facing Tucson's brutal summer heat and storms. Hi, I'm Lisa Chastain with Gospel Rescue Mission. That's why we've launched Operation Rescue from the Heat, a safe, cool place, meals, showers, clean clothes, and an invitation to our life-transforming programs. With your support, lives are being saved and dignity is being restored. If you want to help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-291-0376. 800-291-0376. 800-291-0376.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no. How bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you. And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best deal, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
From the award-winning morning show on America's favorite radio station, The Ticket, The Musers, the podcast.
So right now we're podcasting?
No, not yet.
He just put us into it.
No, I was accidentally podcasting.
Oh, we were for a second, but we're not now.
Well, we want to start intentionally podcasting.
We're back
That
on.
was accidental.
That was a false start. Three,
2, 1.
Every Wednesday, Junior Miller, George Dunham, and Gordon Keith drop a new episode of The Musers, the podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute. Gavin McKenna is the unquestioned number 1 in next year's NHL draft. Before he gets to the league, he's already changing the game. McKenna is leaving Canadian junior hockey to play his draft-eligible year at Penn State. This is not the path normally taken. This is huge hockey news, and now we see how many more follow in McKenna's footsteps. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our friends at BetMGM Network said, take the Red Hot Cubs on the road in Minnesota.
Bader picked up a bag earlier, and Jeffers unloads. High and deep left field. Does it have the legs? You bet it does. See you later. Goodbye and good night. Castro unloads. This ball high in the air to right towards the Winnebago porch. Tucker's under the porch, and it's gone for a back-to-back home runs. 2-1. Swung on and hit well for Bader. Deep left field. Happ can only watch. Bader with another tater. It's into the second deck again. A 2-run shot for Harrison Bader. The Twins lead 8-0. 6 runs across in the 8th.
Take the Red Hot Cubs over the Twins, who scored 6 runs in the 8th inning and won the game by a score of 8-1. I think that's two games already this week that Harrison Bader, we have been on the wrong end of Harrison Bader. They had the walk-off against the, I believe it was the Rays on the 4th of July. We had the Rays on the money line that night. And Harrison Bader hit the walk-off home run. 8-1 Twins stretched our losing streak to 6. There was good news, though. There was good news. We had 2 bets last night. We had the Brewers on the money line over the Dodgers, and the Brewers continued the Dodgers losing streak. So we did not come out completely broke last night.
I got a question for you, Mr. Baseball play-by-play guy. I've never really gotten an answer to this, but Tater. Do you know the origins?
I don't know the origin of Tater.
I've tried to look it up in the past, and I think there's questions as to where it actually originated.
Yeah, that would be a great story. I don't know that I've ever tried to tell that on a broadcast in my life in the past, but yeah, Tater, Tater Tot. I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I'm getting is it may have come from George Scott. Made a habit of calling home runs taters, but that's from way back.
So the Brewers won 3-1 over the Dodgers. So we picked up, I think, like maybe a few cents since we lost $12.90. I think we won like $13. So we picked up a few pennies on but we're still down $179. So a long way from being solvent here. Let's find out what they've got for us tonight at BetMGM Network.
A pair of home teams on Hump Day. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Arizona is hitting only .211 against Dylan Cease, while San Diego has knocked around Brandon Pfaadt for a .349 average. The Padres, a -140 favorite, which jumps to +128 by adding the Red Sox over the Rocks. A Boston-San Diego two-team moneyline parlay. I'm Joe Ostrowski from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Ooh, so we've got a parlay tonight. A parlay. Now, it's not +128 at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It's +115. So Padres on the money line over the Diamondbacks. Red Sox on the money line over the Rockies. Red Sox, Boston at home. That game gets underway at 4:10. Padres and Diamondbacks, of course, coming up later around 6:40. So we've got a parlay bet, Padres and Red Sox, parlay at +115. So your $12.90 bet can get you back $14.89 on that. And as you heard earlier, or may have heard earlier, we've also got Diamondbacks and Padres, the over tonight, over 8 runs. Over 8 runs total at -109. Over 8 runs.
Are they not familiar with recent history?
Yeah, but Brandon Pfaadt's pitching tonight.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not been all that great lately. So taking the over, we'll get into that a little bit later. It's Brandon Pfaadt and Dylan Cease, and they have it. Brandon's ERA is 5.42, and Dylan's ERA is 4.62. So that's the over, and they've combined to give up 28 home runs this season. So we'll see. All right, that's your BetMGM Network top plays for today. It is currently sponsored by nobody. So jump on that sponsorship. All right, you heard the commissioner talk about a collaboration, if that's what we're calling it, a collaboration with the WWE, World Wrestling. What is that? World Wrestling Enterprises?
Entertainment.
World Wrestling Entertainment. So this is what that is going to be. WWE and the Big 12 today announced an expansion to their multifaceted partnership that will see Friday Night SmackDown broadcast from Big 12 markets on the eve of 4 conference games this season. The first of those games will be the Big 12 opener, which is also the season opener in Dublin, Ireland, on the 22nd of August between Iowa State and Kansas State. So SmackDown is going to Ireland this year. The other 3 games, they'll be in Cincinnati on Friday night, October the 3rd. That's ahead of the game on Saturday between the Bearcats and the Iowa State Cyclones. They will be here in Arizona on Friday, the October the 24th, but they will not be here in Tucson. They'll be at the Mullet Arena in Tempe ahead of the Sun Devils game against the Houston Cougars on Saturday, October the 25th. And then the final of the broadcast will be on Halloween. So Halloween SmackDown in Salt Lake City. That's not maybe the most exciting place to have Halloween, but Salt Lake City gets to host one. Cincinnati at Houston will play the next day.
I had to look it up because of just curiosity. And, guys, the internet is never wrong. And the internet tells me that Ireland is considered one of the largest markets for professional wrestling.
Wow.
They love American professional wrestling over there. So today I learned.
Yeah, Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, no, it's a big market. There's a lot of I know that that's probably not the way that they would describe it in most circles, but European feds, there are a lot lot of them in Ireland. So they've got a lot of good shows.
They love a good heel.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
You partake in the Friday Night SmackDown, Dragon Ball?
I did back when it was on regular television. I've not really been keeping up with it since it moved to Netflix, but that's just been the longest running televised broadcast. Now it's just the longest running broadcast.
Really?
It is
longer than The Simpsons?
Longer than The Simpsons, longer than Grey's Anatomy. It is, for the longest time, it has been described as the longest weekly televised broadcast.
How long is Grey's Anatomy? I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy in like 10 years.
It was going for a while. I don't know if it's still going.
I think it might be.
It was still going even after the titular character was gone.
I think they rebooted it.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But so
like everything else.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the SmackDown shows are going to be. Again, these are the days before the kickoff, so I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're going to have a lot of trying to replace the magic of Lee Corso putting on the heads of the mascots to pick the winners and things like that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, and if this continues to develop, maybe they'll go ahead and have a game or a broadcast over at the TCC maybe next season.
So FanFest, do they get pile driven? Like, how's that work exactly? Is there fan participation with this WWD crossover, or how's that work?
Sometimes with the fan participation, they'll end up just doing a lot of signings. They may do some pictures and things like that. There's never been a situation where they'll let a fan take a clothesline from somebody.
You got to sign a lot of paperwork to get involved in that. Yeah,
there's a long waiver to go ahead and get that cleared out. But again, this will be interesting because from what I understand, based on how it's worded, they're going to have the full show. So they'll have the show, and maybe they'll have some kind of like a fan reach out before then for the fans of the two college programs that are going to be there. But the Dublin one's going to be interesting because I don't know how many folks from Iowa State and Kansas State are going to be able to make that trip up there.
The other issue there, obviously, is that Europe doesn't have collegiate athletics.
Yes.
So there isn't like a baked-in fandom for people from 18 to 22 of that age group. It's all semi-pros, which you then go in the club scene, and then you move up the club levels into the highest club level eventually.
Yeah, I don't think the Oxford Oxes take on the Cambridge Crows or anything like that in professional sport. I don't even know if those are the mascots, that they have mascots for those particular universities in England.
I'm really excited, though. I'm really excited for the international games, and I think the crossover can only bring extra fans. And like Commissioner Yormark, everybody's patting Commissioner Yormark on the back, DK, I think mostly because he envisions a much broader conference vision for the world. And, we might not think of people wanting to see, an Arizona versus, TCU game in Dublin, but who knows? They've been expanding the NFL so much around the world. There's a lot of burgeoning football fans just in general. And so I think that market is definitely open, and it's really good to hear that the commissioner is moving in that direction.
I tell you, they're going to bring back NFL Europa. I feel it. They're going to bring it back.
Oh, man, that would be interesting for sure. All right, DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. If you want to comment on anything you heard from the commissioner, WWE, and the Big 12, if you're happy to see that, if you're going to head up to Tempe to watch that when they come to town. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, you'll hear from Brent Brennan and the Arizona Wildcats today at Big 12 Football Media Day in Frisco, Texas. Right now, you're going to hear from Dragon Ball. He is giving you everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Well, the Cats again were up in Big 12 Media Days. Brett Brennan had his opening words towards the conference, and while some are curious as to whether Noah Fifita will be able to get back to the form we saw him about 2 years ago, Brennan was quick to say his quarterback struggles were not on Fifita, but instead on the coach.
The step back for Noah Fifita is my fault, not his. We didn't do a good enough job running the football, and we didn't do a good enough job protecting him, right? Which I think we've done. We've made some moves in the direction of making that better right now. I think when we get to December, everybody in the conference and maybe everybody in America is going to be talking about Noah Fifita. When you watch how he delivers the football, he's one of the cleanest throwers I've ever seen, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do in Seth Doege's offense. This is the perfect fit for him, and it's his time to shine.
Again, Fifita is hoping to see more of the second half of his production from last year's schedule. Again, if you remember, he threw 9 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions in the last 5 games to close out the 2024 season. And now the Diamondbacks, they went to delivering a gem with their pitching to open the series against the Padres. Now they were on the wrong end of one yesterday. Nick Pivetta and the rest of the San Diego bullpen holding Arizona to only 3 hits on the day. And again, it was the Padres getting the W after they broke the scoreless tie with a home run by Luis Arraez. And the Diamondbacks now focus on Game 3 of the extended series with first pitch again tonight at 6:40. The NFL and the NFL Players Association apparently agreed to a confidentiality deal where they concealed the agreement of a collusion finding that the league itself was urging owners to limit guaranteed money after the Deshaun Watson deal. Again, this is all based on reports, and it appears the players were not told of this agreement by the heads of the Players Association, and that is starting to cause major backlash inside the union as well. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
Collisions reported 22nd Street west of Tucson Boulevard at 22nd Street and Plummer. Some backups both directions on 22nd. Approaching Plummer, other wrecks, Golf Links and Harrison. Ina and Thornydale also crashed Grant Road and Oracle. And for your weather, an extreme heat warning till 8 tonight, 86, the low, 109 tomorrow, and 111 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play. Get the latest news on your teams and more, all in one place. Download Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play today. Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Home Solutions.
For quality, honesty, and service you can count on, call Goodfellas Home Solutions. Because when you need help around the house, we can fix it. Need a kitchen or bathroom makeover? Dealing with a clogged drain, leaky faucet, or sewer issue? We'll take care of it fast. We handle just about anything under your roof. Goodfellas Home Solutions. GoodfellasAC.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you. And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best deal, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 2 of our program on this Wednesday, Hump Day. So glad you could be with us. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Rich Rodriguez is back coaching in a conference that features his former team here in Tucson, the Arizona Wildcats. He's the new head coach at West Virginia. He coached at West Virginia from 2001 to 2007, did Rich Rodriguez, before moving on to Michigan. He then, after 3 seasons at Michigan, he went 3-9, 5-7, and 7-6. Can't not win at Michigan and keep your job for a long time. Came here to Tucson.
Not if you're not a Michigan man.
No.
That was the big topic back in those days. Yeah.
Sat out a year, did some broadcasting, and then showed up here in Tucson in 2012. The Wildcats coming off the 2011 season. I think they won, maybe 1 game, 2 games that year that they fired Mike Stoops, and immediately won 8 games in his first year, went 8-5, 4-5 in the Pac-12. Got to a bowl game, won the New Mexico Bowl, a dramatic finish to win the New Mexico Bowl. 2013, again finished 8-5, 4-5 in the Pac-12. Went to the Advocare V100 Bowl down in Shreveport. I've talked about it before. New Year's Eve in Shreveport.
Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck there.
What a time that was. One of the least memorable New Year's Eves of my life. Not to mention working in a parking lot that's kind of in the middle of the neighborhood. That was fun. And then in 2014, they won the Pac-12 South Division title on the last day of the season in a monumental game at the stadium against Arizona. 10-4 record, lost in the Fiesta Bowl that year. And then 7-6 injuries in 2015. I mentioned Anu Solomon got hurt. 2016 was a little bit of it was just a strange year. Quarterback issues, death of a player, kind of put a pall on that season. Wildcats finished 3-9, 1-8 in conference play. But Rich Rod and company bounced back in 2017 with Khalil Tate at quarterback. They went 7-6, 5-4. And lost in the Foster Farms Bowl, finishing 3rd in the South, losing to Purdue. That was the end of his tenure here. 43-35 total record in his time. 8 games above 500 in his 6 seasons at Arizona.
Real quick, DK. You mentioned I was talking about how bowl games are one way to measure success. Another is how you finish in the polls, right? And we talk about that Fiesta Bowl loss, but that year they finished 19 in the polls.
Yeah.
A couple years back, 2023, they finished 11th. What if I told you those are the only 2 teams since Kelvin Ifon was in uniform?
Right.
So, the last time they finished top 25 in the polls was 98, other than the 2014 season and the 2023 season.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of high-level success here at the University of Arizona on the football field. Will that change under Brett Brennan? We'll find out in year number 2. Let's hear from Rich Rodriguez, who was asked about his memories of Tucson.
I didn't really realize it, probably after a couple weeks on the job, and I started looking at their league. I was like, I know the programs, at least half the programs in our league from the Pac-12 days, whether it's Utah, Colorado, Arizona schools, played by BYU a couple of times, and so there's some familiarity with that. But this day and age in college athletics, like I said, everything is a little bit different. I loved our time in Arizona. It seems like, at least for myself and some of our staff, we've been on this journey for 15 to 20 years or so, and as fate would have it, we're back in Morgantown. So I know Arizona's not on schedule this year. They will be in the next couple of years. I know that'll be an emotional time as well. But I enjoyed our time there. But we're back home at West Virginia, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Hey, Coach. Robert Aronoff with Latavius Murray's Ninth 24/7, covering a program that has a head coach who's come home to the program. I want to ask you about what do you think some of the advantages and difficulties are of returning back?
Yeah, good question. I think, typically, and this is my 8th or 7th or 8th or 9th, whatever, head coaching spot, it takes you 6 to 9 months to kind of get a lay of the land, not just your roster, but the town, the school, and the community and all that kind of stuff. Well, West Virginia took 6 to 9 minutes. Wasn't a lot that changed, and that was a neat part. But coming back home, I know where all the bodies are buried and the traps are laid, and kind of understand, the environment, so to speak. So that made it an easier transition. But then again, there's also times of change. We're in a new league. The game of college athletics has changed a little bit. It was kind of pleasing. The first thing I had been back in 17 years, I got a tour of our football facility, and I was blown away. $50-some million worth of improvements over the last 5 or 6 years, which was really neat. So a lot of the stuff that you wanted to have as a program, we were able to have coming back the second time. So, I guess the challenges is everything is different now, but at the same time, it's not. Like West Virginia, in West Virginia, football is important, athletics is important, WU is important because we're a smaller state and there's no other Power 4 team, there's no pro organization. So it's a big deal to a lot of people, and I take a lot of responsibility for that, have responsibility for that because I know that. I played there, I coached there, I grew up there. So, I think our players are going to hear that quite a bit. They already are. But I'm blessed, I'm fortunate. It doesn't happen very often that you get a chance to, I guess, come full circle and come back. There's so many things that take place for that to happen, and thankfully for myself, I've been blessed for the opportunity that happened.
So this spring you talked about wanting guardrails in college football. Do you believe the new revenue sharing and college sports commission create those guardrails and move you towards that professional model that you wanted?
Yeah, a lot better guardrails than a month ago. I mean, it was a cluster for the last 3 or 4 years. All coaches are complaining about it, but it was just a mess, and nobody knew how to really solve it right away. And I still think it's a lot better now with the cap and the rev share, but there's still a lot of work to do. Until we get, I'm giving my opinion, until we get some congressional or some help from D.C., and get more guardrails on the deal, it's still going to be a little bit of a cluster, but a heck of a lot better than it was a month ago. And college athletics and college football is such a great entity. It's kind of hard to screw it up. We did everything we could in the last 4 or 5 years, it looks like, to try to do it. But you can't really screw it up too much because of the passion of college athletics, especially college football. But hopefully, smarter minds than myself we'll get that together. I think I've said this earlier today, I think they need to get the college athletic directors more input and more say-so in how college athletics is going to be run, because these are the guys and the ladies that know what's best for the schools and what's best for the country as we're in college athletics. But I've got my own opinions on it. I think we're in a better place now than we were a month ago. There's still some work to be done, but we could complain about as coaches, but hell, it's still a pretty good gig, you know what I mean? These are good jobs. There's a lot tougher jobs than being a college football coach. So, like I said, I'm fortunate and blessed to have what I have.
Ooh, don't let Brett Yormark hear you saying that, Rich Rodriguez. Let's put more power in the hands of the ADs and take the power away from the commissioners. I wouldn't necessarily be against that. I think that there should be more people on the ground level that have a say in what's happening versus like 5 or 6 guys in a boardroom, for sure, where there's not a whole lot of diversity of mindsets happening. But interesting thoughts from Rich Rodriguez, the former head coach there of your Arizona Wildcats, the new head coach of the West Virginia Mountaineers. They do not play. Arizona and West Virginia do not. Yeah, exactly. Like he said, I know where all the bodies are buried.
Right. Right.
First thing I thought about was, well, Rich, did you bury any of those bodies when you were there? The Arizona Wildcats and West Virginia Mountaineers will not play this year, but you got to imagine they played last year in the first season, and so the next game will be in Morgantown, likely next year or the year after. So it might be a year or two before we get a chance to see Rich Rodriguez again and knock helmets on the field. Will be fun, though, when it happens. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Fourth member of our team joins us. Cricket is here. She doesn't have tickets. Cricket does not have tickets. But as she's had over the course of the last few months, she's got a pretty sweet deal for you. Tell us about your sweet deal, Cricket.
So our sweet deal on Friday
You okay? Your voice is gone there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because I was screaming about this sweet deal. It's really cool. It's from the Twisted Union Wine Company. They're in Elgin, Arizona, and it is what this Twisted Union Wine Company is that you're going to get this half-off sweet deal, a 2-night stay in one of the Twisted Union Luxury Estate House Suites, private wine tasting for 2 with their winemaker, of course, 21 and up. Have to be booked between December 31st, 2025, and travel must be completed by March 31st, 2026. So keep that in mind. On Friday, our sweet deal, half off, you will pay for that awesome stay at Twisted Union Wine Company, $252.50, 8:30 Friday morning at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
You know, a nice glass of red will clear up that throat.
Is that what they say?
Exactly. Trust me.
My grandpa used to say whiskey.
Oh, whiskey.
Oh, whiskey's for toothaches and things like that. I don't know about.
Grandpa's like, he said, it'll clear you right up.
My grandmother, I don't know if your grandmother's had this, but my grandmother, she had a cabinet. This is my dad's mom. She had a cabinet full of those old remedies, drugs, like the bottles of penicillin and stuff back from literally there were bottles in her medicine cabinet from the 1940s.
Whoa!
When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, I would walk. I was like, man, this looks like it's really old. Like you're looking at this bottle and it's got those old the old bottles had it was almost like the bottle was in black and white. We had black and white TV. The bottles had those drawings and stuff on it.
Yeah. Like poison.
Exactly.
Skull and crossbones.
Skull and crossbones.
Right.
Yeah. She had all of that. I think one of my grandmothers might have given me a little something to help a toothache.
You know it's old when you
go
over the ingredients list and half the things are banned by the current U.S. government. Yeah.
This is true.
Old time remedies. Not a lot of that stuff floating out there anymore. All right, sweet deal, and the wine. I love my wine, so I might have to see if I can get on that. That's Friday coming up 8:30 a.m. at WildcatsRadio1290.com. It is hot out there, Cricket.
Is it?
Yes. Do we have any storms brewing of note? I heard the east side got some rain, but we didn't get any.
We didn't get any yesterday.
No.
Looks
like since I've come back, it's been I don't think I've seen a drop of rain since I got back to town.
I feel like you should go broadcast
I gotta leave.
somewhere.
I have to go leave, and that's when
last time we did that, a tree fell over in the schoolyard. I don't want to do that again.
You lost a window too.
Oh my God!
I did. Window.
Right. The great Marana
typhoon.
Marana monsoon. Oh, typhoon is more like it.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, that was the way the new field blew away because it wasn't put together quite.
Like a couple weeks ago, but Friar they put it down.
Yeah, that was that's a memory for sure. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the Auto Nation, Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. 22nd Street near Tucson Boulevard, west of Tucson Boulevard on 22nd Street near 22nd and Plummer. An overturned vehicle, and you're going to see mostly westbound restrictions, westbound 22nd, west of Tucson Boulevard. Other collisions, Golf Links and Harrison, and also Ina and Thornydale. There is an extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86 the overnight low, 109 tomorrow, and 110 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy. We live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one. He's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you? And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best steel, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona. Like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
I'm Patrick Blaybaum with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Dallas Cowboys and the city of Oxnard have agreed to a new 5-year extension that will keep Cowboys training camp in California through 2030. Dak Prescott spoke to the media Tuesday saying that he's healthy and anticipates being a full go for training camp as he recovers from 2024's season-ending hamstring injury. Kirk Cousins revealed he felt misled after the organization decided to draft Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick in 2024, saying that if he had known, it would have impacted his decision to join the Falcons. New Orleans Saints owner Gail Benson and All-Pro linebacker Demario Davis are traveling to Paris this week to promote the club's visibility in France and help grow the game internationally. And the Cardinals have announced the launch of Cardinals Premier Travel, offering fans luxury away game experiences that include round-trip private air transportation, hotel accommodations, and more. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I tried to convince some fringe baseball fans last week in Chicago that a 1-0 baseball game is the best baseball game that there is. That is what we saw last night in San Diego.
Just as soon Luke Carroll on deck here and the ball game. Hey, struck him out, and the Padres win. The strikeout for Suarez, the exclamation point on a victory for the Padres. They win it 1-0, shutting out the Diamondbacks.
Seven hits last night at Petco Park as the Padres get game 2 of the 3-game series with the D-backs, winning by a score of 1-0. 3 hits for Arizona, and unfortunately, they could not take advantage of a great pitching performance by Merrill Kelly. 4 hits for the Padres, including the one that gave them the lead in the 7th.
That's 5 starts against San Diego. Some tough numbers, but he's been stellar this evening. Driven to right field. Arise sends one deep, far, and very gone. Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Only run allowed by Cousin Merrill. 1 earned run on 4 hits in 7 innings. He did not walk a batter. He struck out 4, but Luis Ariza's one swing of the bat gave the Padres the 1-0 lead. And any time that you have a 1-0 game, you know there's going to be some great defense to be had. And we saw that on 2 plays for the Padres.
To center field. Back goes Jackson Merrill at the wall. He leaps. Merrill got it again. Jackson Merrill. Merrill madness brings it back in the yard. To right field, struck well. Tatis going back at the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch in right. Fernando brings it down. First Jackson Merrill, now Fernando up into the air. No balls will leave this yard.
2 home runs taken away by the Padres defense last night. Torey Lovello had never seen anything like that before.
You know, it's hard for me to tell if they're going over the fence or not. I just know they're tremendous plays made by great athletes, and it goes to show you, good defense can help you win games and win moments. And if you add it all up, it was a difference in the game. But no, I've never seen 2 in one game, but both incredible plays.
Unfortunately, the Diamondbacks lose the game, but they have gotten some tremendous starting pitching the last 2 nights by their 2 main aces, Zach Gallen on Monday night to get a win, and Merrill Kelly last night allowing just the 1 run in 7 innings. The skipper on Merrill's performance.
It came out sizzling today. He was throwing the ball extremely well. The extra day's rest was, I think, a very much needed little push for him. And unfortunately, on days where we give up 1 run on the mound, I'll tell you that we're going to win a lot of baseball games. And I thought things could have been a little bit differently had we got the big base hit. We loaded the bases a couple of times, got into a really good situation, but we just couldn't capitalize.
All right, so game 3, the rubber game tonight, 6:40 first pitch. It'll be Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for your Snakes, 8-6, a 5.42 ERA. He'll be opposed by Dylan Cease. Cease is 3-8, a 4.62 earned run average. The Padres are the favorite on the money line tonight at -150. We've got a parlay happening, though, with this game tonight. We've got the Padres on the money line along with the Red Sox over the Rockies on the money line at +115. The over-under on this game is 8 right now, the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook, and we are taking the over on this game, over 8 runs at -109 to try to win back $11.87. 6:40 first pitch tonight at Petco Park in San Diego. Agree or disagree, a 1-0 baseball game is the best kind of baseball game. I tried to convince some folks that were in attendance at the Cubs game, the Cubs Guardians game last weekend. They wanted to see runs. we were there a day too early because Friday on 4th of July, I think the Cubs hit like 8 home runs, including 5 in the first inning off former Tucson Padre right-hander Miles Mikolas of the Cardinals, who might be on his way out of St. Louis after that performance. But I love a 1-0 game just because I love the cleanness of it, the pitching. You usually see great defense. It's my favorite kind of baseball.
I've heard that often from purists. My question to you is, do you prefer a 1-0 game where one of the teams scores in the first, a 1-0 game where someone scores in the 5th or 6th, or a 0-0 game that gets ended in the 9th?
Well, we had a 0-0 game that got ended in the 10th. So that was the case for the one we saw last Thursday night in Chicago. I would think I don't mind a game that ends in a 1-0 game that ends in a walk-off is always fun. I think for the home team, I like late scoring. I like the 0-0s, put the zeros up early, and then maybe get that run at the end.
My favorite, especially from like the era I watched the most baseball is probably 90s, 2000s. So like watching guys like, Maddox and those guys, the guys who were truly dominant, DK, every single time out. When you could see a matchup between two dominant pitchers, the kind of guys who went deep into games. We don't see that as much anymore. But in that era where almost all the great starters went 8 innings deep at least, those games where you have two number ones going up against each other and it's 0-0 in the 8th, I think is probably the most riveting, just because it's just a matchup of, it's the greatest defense, really. It's the greatest keeping guys off balance, Dragon Ball. So I agree. I mean, I'm not necessarily a baseball purist, but I do love a good low-scoring game, especially if it's great pitching and not 27 errors that led to that score.
See, I've always been the prevalent of low-scoring games are some of the most fun sporting events that you can watch. But with baseball, it's a bit odd because you can have a low-scoring basketball or football game. It's like, every possession counts. Every single turnover is going to be the difference, yada, yada, yada. If that first run comes in the first or the second, then it's a fight against inevitability. Versus if the runs are scored in the 8th or the 9th, it's like, the rally happened. They finally found something. Meanwhile, if your team's, and that's the other part of it too, DK, a 1-0 baseball game is great so long as your team's the one who has the one run.
Sure.
If you had to,
and then you're like, what the heck, guys? Come on, can't we score at least one run?
Yeah, at least one run. I've seen more than a few of those situations watching my dad watch the Mets for a long period of time where he's screaming at guys, why can't you catch up to the slider? It's not moving, guys.
It's funny, really quick, going back to the like late 80s into late 90s era, there was an era there in the mid-90s, DK, where run scoring was way down. And the interest in baseball was waning. And the next generation wasn't going to the ballpark as much. And then what happened? Sosa and McGuire. And that just kickstarted this whole new era of offensive baseball, right? But the steroid era that came out of that, again, turned the interest back down. So it's tough. I think, as you said, purists, people who love baseball, always love to see a 1-0 game. But if you're trying to incite new fans to come and be excited about your game in the modern times, when you can go and watch a 50 to 45 SEC football game or whatever ACC football game, it's tough. It's tough to get young fans excited in a low-scoring game like that.
Got to be on your toes, though, in a 1-0 and a 0-0 game. That is for sure if you're out there playing on the field. But
how many home runs did you see robbed by Kenny Lofton in one game? Because it feels like 2 isn't that much. I feel like we've seen that before.
Oh, himself?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Kenny probably robbed 7 in one game.
He may have. I may have seen him rob a home run and then maybe run a few other balls down in the game. I don't know if I ever saw him rob 2 home runs in a game, but I saw him make a number of catches in games that took hits away.
Well, nobody that short ever got his elbow over the wall as much as Kenny did.
He was something fun to watch.
Hops.
For sure. 520-848-1290. How do you feel about that? Do you like 1-0 baseball games? Do you not like 1-0 baseball games? I mentioned to you earlier the Phoenix Mercury win today, 79-71. We'll hear from them coming up later in the show. 29 points today for Alyssa Thomas as the Mercury knocked off the red-hot Minnesota Lynx, the best team in the WNBA this season in terms of record. They went at home today on camp day. That's when all the kids are in the building, so I'm sure there was a lot of screeching happening. 79-71 the final for the Mercury today. Again, Alyssa Thomas, 29 points, 8 rebounds, not dropping as many dimes today. She only dished out 5.
Well, she had 15, right?
Yeah, 15
so 15
in the
plus
last
5
game.
is 20. So that's
today she took over, though, offensively, hitting 14 of 24 from the field to lead the way. Duana Bonner back in a Phoenix Mercury uniform, played 26 minutes in her first game, 7.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. So the Mercury now are 3 games back of Minnesota in the Western Conference as they get the win. And they got it. And what's even more impressive is they got this win. No Satu Sabali today. She sat out, right ankle injury. And Kalia Copper also did not play in this game. So they needed Alyssa Thomas to be the offensive threat because your 2 other primary scorers were sitting on the bench. So, I mean, that really impressive what the Mercury was able to do today, considering they were without their 2 leading scorers in this contest and still be able to win at home by 8 points.
It goes to show what the support and the great amount of respect that you get when your fiance's back on the team.
There you go.
I think also, like, if you rely upon people like, they have for the past 15 years, right? It's been basically 2 players as the face of that franchise. They're both gone this year, guys, for the first time in a long time. So having those 29-year-old rookies, as you've talked about all year, DK, affords you the opportunity when you have Ka out to be able to pick up a little bit of that slack.
A lot of early games today in the league. The Fever lose at home by 19 to Golden State as Caitlin Clark was back. She'd missed another 5 games due to an injured groin. She was back 25 minutes, 4 of 12. She scored just 10 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, turned it over 4 times. Sophie Cunningham off the bench, just 3 points, 1 of 3 shooting, a 19-point home loss. That's back-to-back home losses for the Fever, who now drop under 500 at 9-10. The Valkyries, who started slow, are coming on. They're now 10-9 on the season, are the expansion Valkyries.
What do you think about
in the WNBA?
Ari McDonald starting, even though Caitlin Clark came back? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we assumed that she would have been the backup, but she did start today. She played 27 minutes alongside Caitlin.
There you go. Now a full-time member of that roster is Ari McDonald after being signed last week, or actually I think that happened right when we were on vacation for Ari. Good to see her back. 7 points, 4 assists, as you mentioned, for her today.
More importantly, ranking the mascots of professional teams, Valkyries. Where does that land?
I don't even know what it is. Is it like a flying? It looks like a flying...
a mythical woman from Norse. Okay. I want to say something
Norse
like
mythology.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that would fit better with Minnesota.
If memory
probably.
serves, I think it was like Valhalla.
Why is Minnesota not the Valkyries?
Well, yeah, I think it was Valhalla, and like the Valkyries were welcomed. Warriors,
they were like
that.
They were the warriors that came down from Valhalla to go ahead and greet the warriors who had died in battle, and they were the ones that kind of took them up to be judged if they were worthy of Valhalla or not.
Speaking of Sophie Cunningham, we'll hear from her later. She's on my S list right now. Not real happy with Sophie Cunningham. We'll get into that coming up. But first, we're going to hear from your head coach of your Arizona Wildcats football team. Brent Brennan met the media today at Big 12 Media Days in Frisco, Texas. What did he have to say about last season? You'll hear the head coach. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Park Avenue and Ajo Way, Golf Links and Harrison. 22nd Street to the west of Tucson Boulevard near 22nd Street and Plummer. It's going to be it was a rollover wreck, and westbound restrictions westbound 22nd Street west of Tucson Boulevard near Plummer. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86, the low 109 tomorrow, 110 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Amazon Prime Day.
If you love deals, you'll love this. Prime Day is lasting 4 days this year. That's 4 days of unbelievable deals in every category you can think of, so you can save big on everything you're into. Shop Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th.
The countdown to Arizona football is on.
Fires the pass towards the back corner. Touchdown, Arizona. It was Hunter. Yeah, Chris Hunter.
When Chris Hunter and the Cats take the field on August 30th, you'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining, you know.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
You know, it's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants and the spider, scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
That's right. What's right? What the singing people just said. Gary, you have your earbuds in. I don't know what you're hearing. Oh, this.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
That's right.
Hi, guys. What's right?
That I have my earbuds in.
No, you don't.
We were listening to the singing people.
Maybe I should go out and come back in again.
It's the thing about how we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Oh, right. It's the Alaskan AC guarantee, so people aren't left waiting for a repairman. Don't we have singing people for that?
Yes, here, use my earbuds.
Gross.
Just play it, Gary.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
That's right.
I know, right? Right. I'm glad we had this meeting. AlaskanAC.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
This is Bill Ryder with a Sports Minute sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. As buzz continues to build about LeBron James' future, and the fine folks of Cleveland, Ohio flirt with the idea that maybe LeBron could push them over the top if they could pull off a trade, remember this. LeBron is used to being the center of his universe, and the Cavs have built something special. It's probably time to say goodbye to the LeBron years for good and focus on what they've built. I'm Bill Ryder.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Big 12 Media Days, Big 12 Football Media Days, wrapping up in Frisco, Texas. The two-day affair, the Big 12, the first of the conferences to introduce themselves for this 2025 college football season. The second to last coach to speak today was your head coach, Brent Brennan. Let's hear from Brent on his team, his second season, and the changes he made at both of his coordinator spots.
It's great to be here. It's been a really fun and busy day. I've got 6 incredible players with me representing the University of Arizona. Going to be talking a lot about just what a busy offseason it's been for us. Obviously, last fall was unacceptable for our staff, our program, and our university, and we're busy fixing that ever since. We've had a crazy time in the portal. Spring ball went really well, put together a really good recruiting class, made some tough decisions on our coaching staff, and I love the direction we're headed. So it's an exciting time for us. Football we've never seen anything like it, but it's also an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be a part of the Big 12 Conference. I think this conference is so deep and everybody is well coached. There's high-level talent. And there's a really fun game to watch. And I think that part of it is exciting for us at U of A because I feel like it's a conference that is deep, but everybody has a chance to win. And that's something I'm really excited about. So we're hard at work this offseason. This summertime, our players are getting after it in the Tucson heat. And I love where we're headed, and I love what we're doing. So I just want to say thank you for having me here, and I'm ready for your questions.
All right, we'll go to the center right in the back.
Justin Spears from the Arizona Daily Star. Coach, what gives you optimism that this year will be different than last?
Well, I think it starts with the decision we made with the coaching staff. I think our new defense coordinator, Danny Gonzalez, I'm really excited about his process with our team so far. I'm excited about Seth Doege and our offense, just kind of the aggressive, explosive offense that we want to play at the U of A. And then I'm also excited about Craig Niver and what he's doing with our kicking game. I think it starts with them. But then I also think about Noah Fifita being a year older, a year more mature. I think the consistency of our coaching staff, our leadership, and the team knowing what my expectations are and how we're going to do things going forward. And I think it's a lot cleaner right now than it was a year ago. And I'm optimistic about how this season's going to go.
Again, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go center right, second row.
Coach Lynn Harrington with State Line Power 5. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I am all right. So to follow up on what you were talking about, your quarterback, Noah Fifita, I mean, he did take a big step back last season. But with the loss of T-back in the first round in NFL, like how much strides can you think he could take forward approaching this upcoming season?
So I think the step back for Noah Fifita is my fault, not his. We didn't do a good enough job running the football, and we didn't do a good enough job protecting him. Right, which I think we've done. We've made some moves in the direction of making that better right now. I think when we get to December, everybody in the conference and maybe everybody in America is going to be talking about Noah Fifita. When you watch how he delivers the football, he's one of the cleanest throwers I've ever seen, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do in Seth Doege's offense. This is the perfect fit for him, and it's his time to shine. Okay. T-Mac or not, we love T-Mac. T-Mac's going to crush it in the NFL. We put enough wideouts in that room. We put enough skill positions around him in an offensive front. You're going to love what you see from Noah.
We'll go center left.
Hi, Coach. Mike Wilson, Sports Byline Radio. Is there a player on your team that surprised you or players on your team that surprised you during spring ball?
You know, I think we're excited about Ty Buchanan. I think he's done a lot of good stuff in the offensive front. When I think about the receiver room, like I just mentioned, or the running back room, those have been both rooms where we added, probably 75% of the room is new. And so I think those things are going to be really exciting to watch. Whether you're talking about Quincy Craig or Ishmael Mahdi at the running back position, Luke Wysong, Trey Spivey, Chris Hudson at the receiver position. So there's a lot of change there, but there's also a good influx of what we consider high-level talent, guys that have played a lot of snaps in college football and have really good experience that I think are going to contribute greatly to what we're trying to get done. And then, I think you'll have a chance to talk to some of the guys today around here that we brought out with us on that defensive side. But, Genesis Smith has just been a consistent, high-energy, high-effort player, a lot of fun to coach, and made a lot of plays last fall for us. And, he was a guy that the people came hard after in the portal, but he stayed true to Arizona like Fifita did, and we feel great about him too. So there's a lot of players that people are going to have fun watching this fall.
Go center left. Barry.
Yeah, Brent Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Kalani Sitake yesterday suggested a non-conference schedule in which everybody plays one team from the other three power conferences. Can you go along with that?
I love Kalani, but I tend to disagree with Kalani all the time. I'm just kidding. Kalani and I worked together a long time ago, and we're dear friends. But I would say, I think anything that we can get on the same page where everybody in college football is doing the same thing, I'm all for that. So whether that's how we schedule, how we rev share, how we NIL, how we recruit, what the calendar is, what the I'm all for that. But the scheduling is done so far in advance, I don't get to weigh in on those things normally. You know what I mean?
Or we have a question in the center right, in the back. Again, if you have a question, please raise your hand and keep raising it until we have a microphone holder. Thank you.
Coach, how would you summarize the last year and what you learned from year one at Arizona?
Summarize is a big word, Mr. Spears. I would say we learned a lot in our first year at Arizona. I think the transition, the biggest thing maybe I learned is that just transition is challenging. Transition is hard. And there's lots of things that I could have done better as a head football coach, as the leader of the program, that I have a little bit better, I have a better understanding now of what that looks like and exactly which way we're going to do it. And when we came back from Christmas break, we started with a really simple, fundamental thought, and that was we want guys that want to be at the University of Arizona, that are tough and believe in this program and really, truly want to be here. And so the idea that we're going to chase guys in and out of the portal every year, and we're going to be doing all that stuff, I just don't think that gives you a chance to build the kind of connected, committed football team we want to build at U of A. And so the way we started the season, that's what did we learn? I learned that transition is tough, and the only way to move forward is the people that want to be there, that are totally committed and really connected.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Brett Brennan, speaking earlier today in Frisco, Texas at Big 12 Media Days. He mentioned when asked about some of the guys that have surprised him this year, one of the names he mentioned is a new name to the roster, Ty Buchanan. He is a offensive lineman, spent a couple of seasons at Texas Tech, also played for a year at USC. He goes back a little ways. He was at USC in 2021 and then at Texas Tech in 22 and 23. It does not appear that Ty Buchanan played last year. He may have been out with injury. I know he was on the Texas Tech roster last year, but it looks like he missed most of the season.
I accidentally
last year.
cut this a little short. You got to play the end, okay?
Coach, thank you for your time today, and best of luck this season.
Thank you. Bear down.
How to get the bear down.
There you go. Got to get the bear down in there for Coach Brent Brennan. So interesting. Ty Buchanan, again, the offensive line to me is going to, well, it always is, but I think particularly for this year, when you lose a Jonas Avianaya coming out of last year, a top second-round pick in the NFL draft, and you lose a Wendell Moy who decided to go to another school, you're going to need to replace those guys. And then if you want this offense to go, it's going to start up front. And Ty Buchanan sounds like one of those guys that they're really going to be depending on to make things move offensively.
The issue is always, right, has been when you recruit guys to Arizona, it's generally a player who may be ready in 2 years, right? You're talking about the offensive line.
Yeah.
You're not recruiting a guy who's a surefire NFL, first-round pick. So the margin for error is so much smaller when 1 or 2 injuries, DK, and the shuffling. We saw that last year quite a bit. The shuffling of players in and out who may not be ready for that limelight, may not be ready for that first team. They're not ready to get out there and go against first-team defensive linemen. That's the biggest issue last year. Staying healthy, especially on both lines, as always. But more importantly, Dragon Ball, when you have a roster that may have guys who aren't quite ready to step into that position, that much more vital that everybody stays on the field.
And you want to definitely get these guys involved first and foremost with the running game. There was a distinct lack of an efficient running game last season for the Cats.
Well, they had one effective running game, David Kelly.
This is true.
And then we talked about why they didn't have more effective running game for the rest of the season because of ineligibility.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the first game of the year. And now he's on the roster with the Washington Commanders. But again, you're absolutely right. And I think that was one of the things that Brent Brennan kind of spoke about in I think his interview with ESPN was kind of the surprise when he was going through the process about how Seth Doege in this offense, even though it's going to be kind of air raid type of situation, there is some commitment to wanting to run the football. And you've got to be able to do that. There's no question about it. And again, you're going to have some. You've got Kedrick Reesino coming back. He was kind of, maybe the second or third guy last year. Now he's going to be one of the guys at the top of the depth chart. So he's going to have to step into that role and be able to provide that for this offense, because that'll make Noah Fifita a much better quarterback if they can run the football. All right, coming up in the next hour, you will hear from Noah Fifita as well as some of his teammates who were in Frisco, Texas this week. Dalton Johnson, Genesis Smith from the defensive side of the ball. Noah Fifita from the offensive side of the ball. DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball is here. Everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona and around the world. He's going to tell you about it.
Well, the Summer League has the day off in the NBA today, but yesterday the Cats saw a number of their former stars show out in a game between the Heat and the Warriors. Pelle Larsson and Keshad Johnson showed out with their time on the court.
But all these guys really leaving it out there as the Warriors turn it over again. How about Larson banking it in?
It's you to stand up just right there.
So that's the screen for Richard. Kyra Lewis Jr. all over it. Run out for the Heat. Behind the back to Keshad Johnson.
He can run the floor and finish with authority. Look at this. Love the wing run behind the back pass.
Again, both Keshad and Pelle ended up scoring 15 points on the night. Umar Ballo also joined in on the action off the bench for the Heat, scoring 5 points as they finish up the California Classic with a win over Golden State. And former Phoenix Suns general manager James Jones is leaving the team, as it turns out, following his recent reassignment to the senior advisor role in the front office. Jones now accepting a job with the NBA's league office as executive vice president and head of basketball operations, where he replaces Joe Dumars, who took a job with New Orleans. Again, Jones will be responsible for reportedly the development of playing rules and interpretations, conduct and discipline, as well as other duties. So best of luck to Jones in his new role. Again, the Yankees also looking to move on from former batting champion DJ LeMahieu. The club announced that they are going to designate the veteran infielder for assignment. Despite this decision, LeMahieu will still be owed $22 million through next season. Yankees manager Aaron Boone announced that he would be moving LeMahieu to a bench role as the near 37-year-old looks to move on. Currently, he's batting about .266 on average with a .674 OPS at this point of the season. And I'm Dragon Ball, your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Download our app. It slaps. Nobody covers Southern Arizona sports like we do. Don't miss out on any of the highlights, stories, and analysis. the flagship home for Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collision center reported and clearing 22nd Street west of Tucson Boulevard near 22nd Street and Plummer. That was an overturned vehicle. And also Park in Ajo Way and Park Avenue. And for weather, an extreme heat warning till 8 tonight, 86 the low, 109 tomorrow, 110 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits. And EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Progressive knows there are two things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh, no. How bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh, my God. What?
Don't get air conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
We pass them on the streets every day. Our homeless neighbors are facing Tucson's brutal summer heat and storms. Hi, I'm Lisa Chastain with Gospel Rescue Mission. That's why we've launched Operation Rescue from the Heat, a safe, cool place, meals, showers, clean clothes, and an invitation to our life-transforming programs. With your support, lives are being saved and dignity is being restored. If you want to help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. What does it take to work for Arizona Athletics?
Whenever we hire anyone, we talk about high, low, high. High character, low ego, high outcome and energy.
We are your home for U of A sports. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Final hour of our show on this Wednesday. So glad you could be with us. Participate. Let's hear from you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. A number of the things that we've been talking about. How would you feel about college football going to a non-conference schedule in which the power conference teams played just other power conference teams? I said earlier I don't want to see a total change to that. If there's going to be 3 non-conference games, I'd like to see 2 of them be against power conference teams. And then you still have that one maybe in-state FCS game that you play like the Wildcats do every 2 years with Northern Arizona to the benefit of a program like that. And I think those programs should have those opportunities to play the larger teams within their states across the country. So we can dive into that conversation today as well. How did you feel about what you heard from your head coach, Brent Brennan, today? He mentioned Ty Buchanan. We were talking about him at the end of the last segment. He actually did play last year in 11 games for Texas Tech. He started 7 of those games, primarily on the right side of the line, but did play a little bit of left tackle as well. He made 3 starts at right tackle and 4 starts at left tackle last year and was the starter at left tackle for 4 of the final 5 games of the season. He did not play in the bowl game because he opted out and got into the transfer portal before making his decision to come to the University of Arizona. So he did not play in Texas Tech's Liberty Bowl contest against Arkansas. He was, though, last year. PFF, Pro Football Focus, listed him as one of the better pass blockers in college football. He only surrendered 1 sack. 1 sack in 366 pass blocking opportunities. That sounds like the kind of guy that you need to protect Noah Fifita's blind side this season.
So you're saying Noah was very excited when he
I would
decided to
imagine
come
he
to
was. I was imagining he was very excited to get a guy like Ty Buchanan when you lose to Jonas Savianaya to the National Football League. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You heard from the head coach. Let's hear from some of the players who were at Big 12 Conference Football Media Days today for your Arizona Wildcats. ESPN and company caught up with the quarterback, Noah Fifita, as well as defensive backs, Dalton Johnson and Genesis Smith.
Here, Noah Fifita now joining us from Arizona. We were just talking about it during the break, Noah, and you went to the Manning Passing Academy, a lot of Big 12 representation there. I mean, how good, and you're one of them, are the quarterbacks in this league?
They're great. It's like we were talking about before during the break. It's a conference of quarterbacks. We got some really special quarterbacks here, but more importantly, we got some special people. Got to spend the weekend at the Manning Passing Academy and build some great relationships there with Jalen Daniels and Avery Johnson, among others. So, fantastic conference. Looking forward to compete.
For you now, coming off last year, what is your goal to improve upon from what you did a year ago?
Yeah, individually, just kind of, I have 2 years under my belt now, so using that experience and then using Coach Doege. He's super experienced, he's super smart, one of the best offensive minds I've ever been around, so just kind of learn from him, building that relationship with him, trying to be the smartest, most prepared player on the field, and then trying to become more of a threat with my legs as well.
It's got to be helpful, though, to play for a guy that's calling the plays that was in this league and played in this league and knows this league and understands the terrain and what it's like and what we go through on a game-to-game basis. So have you picked kind of his brain on how he approaches game day? I know you haven't done it yet. You haven't played a game yet, but you've kind of talked about what that interaction will be when you guys are teeing it up.
Yes, sir, definitely. We've talked about it, and we've built a fantastic relationship from the moment he got on campus. That's a big reason I wanted to stay at Arizona, to play for him. Like I said, he's probably the best scheme I've ever seen from an offensive standpoint, but he's a fantastic person, and we'll hang out in this office all the time and just talk stories. So I've heard a lot of stories about his playing days. Like you said, he knows the Big 12 in and out, played in it, and now he's coaching in it. So we're definitely going to lean on that leadership, lean on that experience.
Noah, I always love talking with quarterbacks, and I'm fascinated with what you guys do in your off seasons to try to get better. Who do you study on film? Which quarterback coach are you working with? I'm curious, what has your off season looked like?
Yeah, my off season's been hectic for sure. We have a lot of goals, a lot of expectations that we have for me individually, but more importantly for our team that we're trying to live up to this season. So done a lot of work with Coach Doege, like I've said, from a scheme standpoint. I believe I work with the best quarterback coaches in the country, and 3D QB with Taylor Kelly, Adam Dato, and John Beck. And then just kind of obviously the offseason grind with the guys, building that culture. This is where you build the foundation. This is where you build the brotherhood, build the love that that gets you through the season, and that's what we're aiming towards.
Working with the Sun Devil, Taylor Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've learned today we can all come together at some point. You said you've got 2 years under your belt now. 2 interesting years. First year, you guys sky high. Hell of a season, surprised a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Year 2 goes down a little bit. Now that you've experienced both, what's it going to take to get back to that level?
Yeah, now we know. I mean, there's one constant through the good and through the bad, and that's God. That's my relationship with God. He's the only reason that somebody of my stature could play at this level. So my faith has definitely guided me through the good times and through the bad. So definitely leaning on that, but also just kind of building the culture, building the mentality and belief. Everybody in the locker room right now is Coach Brendan's guy. We either stayed for Coach Brendan or we came here for Coach Brendan. So we have a unwavering belief in him. We have an unwavering belief in our coordinators that they could lead us to where we want to get to, and that's a Big 12 championship.
Are those glasses like video glasses? I'm like, look at that. Like, are those cameras on the side?
Yeah, they're the new Meta. They're the new Meta glasses. So I got to shout out my dad for wearing these. He gave them to me. So
what do they do?
Yeah, they got a lot of things. So it's AI, so I could talk to Meta, and then he'll give me some, or she'll give me some answers. Technology is crazy these days, so yeah, shout out my dad.
Man,
look at the sounds like. Are they taking a picture of us? What's going on here?
That guy was like, he's recording something. I know. Noah, good luck this year, man. You're an exciting player that wants continued health, continued success. You know, Katie, back in the day at Arizona, it was known as Desert Swarm in that defense. I know the guys you're talking to are hoping to get it back to that level.
Yeah, Matt, I'm with 2 members of the secondary, Genesis Smith as well as Dalton Johnson. Guys, it's so good to be with you guys today. You're both looking really sharp. I love the fits. Prada, I think I saw Louis Vuitton over here a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you.
When you think back to a year ago, year 1 under Brent Brennan, new head coach, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would definitely say a switch up. You know, a new coaching staff comes in. You know, they have their techniques and their ways of doing things, and it's kind of blindsiding, you know. But you know, we decided to stay, bought into Coach B, and the season didn't go the way we wanted it to. But you know, we got a redemption season coming up, so it'll be all right.
It's worth mentioning, you said you decided to stay. Both of you went into the portal after the season, but ultimately returned. What made you return?
I'd say just the brotherhood we have going on. It's been the same since we got here, never wavered through the wins, the losses. It's always been the same love, same attention to detail daily. And I'm just here to run it back with my brothers, trying to recreate a winning season.
And why do you feel like this group is capable of turning things around? I have to imagine you're feeling more comfortable in Brennan's systems. You know, there's a lot to learn and get used to. In year 2, everything often works better.
Yeah, I would say, you know, we understand the standard, and that standard's high. And everyone's bought in. And like you said, you know, we understand what Coach B wants us to do, and, you know, we just get it done.
Danny Gonzalez was elevated from linebackers coach and special teams coordinator to defensive coordinator. What's it been like having that transition happen and him lead the defense?
It's been great. He's definitely changed some attitudes around the building, really emphasized red line for us, which is effort, execution, accountability, and just pushing that standard daily. And I feel like that just elevated us as a whole defense and a whole team.
Has he changed anything schematically from what you did a year ago?
Yeah, there's a few different things that we do. You know, maybe some more games up front and little different disguises and looks in the back end. So, you know, he keeps it, you know, new and fresh each week.
You seem to be a ball hawk, Genesis, with interceptions, turnovers, forcing, you know, fumbles. Why do you have such a knack for that?
I would say just growing up, playing with my brothers, backyard football. That's just what it seems to be out there. Just always trying to get the ball. That's what it is to me out there.
And Dalton, you led the defense with 94 total tackles a season ago. How much responsibility do you feel being a leader of the back end?
A lot. I always say safety is one of the hardest positions in football. You know, you got to take care of your corners and your nickels, and as well as your other safety out there with you. But I wouldn't say there's not too much pressure. You know, with Trayden Stukes and Genesis Smith, you know, we have a great connection back there, so it just makes it go a whole lot easier.
Well, I wish you both the best of luck in this upcoming season. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, there's your Arizona Wildcats earlier today at Big 12 Football Media Days. Your quarterback, Noah Fifita, as well as defensive backs, Dalton Johnson and Traden Stukes. It's gonna be fun watching Traden come back and play this year after he missed the majority of last year due to an injury. Those guys are both really talented young men on the defensive side of the ball, and the Wildcats are privileged to have them back because, again, those are two guys that probably could have gone elsewhere. They're that good, and they're going to lead Danny Gonzalez's scheme this year to try to turn this thing around for your Arizona Wildcats. Big 12 Football Media Days are complete, and we've got pretty much about 3 weeks to go before fall camp gets going. The final 3 weeks, they'll come back. The player-run practices will continue over at the field and the Davis Center. And then I believe right around July 30th is when we'll get things going for real to begin year 2 of the Brent Brennan era. Cannot wait for that to happen. How are you feeling about it? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Still to come, we are going to hear from your Phoenix Mercury, who won today, 79-71, the final up in Phoenix over the first place Minnesota Lynx. We'll hear from Alyssa Thomas, who had a big ball game, 29 points. Also, we'll get you some Deion Sanders before we can't end the show without having some prime time. For sure, Deion Sanders spoke about his Colorado Buffaloes and what they anticipate this year as well in the Big 12 Conference. All that and more straight ahead. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Old Nogales and Lumber Street and Old Nogales Highway. Also collision that occurred in Oro Valley, Oracle and Hardy and Oracle. Rollover wreck on 22nd Street west of Tucson Boulevard on 22nd Street near Plummer. Extreme heat warning till 8 tonight, 86. The low, 109 tomorrow and 110 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples.
Bobby Bones here with some easy trivia. What does the Staples easy button say? That was easy. Boom. I mean, that was easy. You knew that, right? And now you know to press it for prints, shipping, and even passport photos. Plus, next day delivery to over 98% of the U.S. I see you, Staples. That was easy.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart strategy does. At Cumulus Digital, our campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by more than 25% because we go beyond clicks and impressions, showing you exactly who saw your ad by name and address. We build solutions that fit more than 4,000 businesses that partner with us every month. Let's build one for you. You're not average, and your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy, we live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one, he's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at alaskanac.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Make the most of summer with stylish looks from Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where families come first. There's a young American making some headlines across the pond at Wimbledon. Amanda Anisimova, a 23-year-old, is one of the last 4 players remaining at the historic tournament. She's the youngest American woman to reach the semifinals at Wimbledon since Serena Williams in 2004. Yesterday, Anisimova had to outlast Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in the quarterfinal match to advance in London.
Yeah, it's just been such a ride, and I've been enjoying every step of the way. And even times like today when, you're not sure you're going to cross the finish line, and I just keep reminding myself to enjoy the moment. It's not often you get to play on this special court in front of so many special people. Thank you guys so much for the atmosphere. It was incredible.
Anisimova will face top-ranked Arina Sabalenka in the semifinals tomorrow. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
Ever find a deal so good you think, should I tell my friends or keep it to myself? That's Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals. Styles for sunny days, home favorites for your space, and more. All at prices you'll love. Plus, earn Kohl's Cash. Discover new deals daily and get free shipping. These deals are too good not to share. Once you've stocked up first. Shop Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end July 10th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Deion Sanders is back for a 3rd season in the Big 12 Conference.
Slot to either side, one running back, busts 44% on 3rd down, sets, throws, a crossing pattern caught by Travis Hunter, spins away from defender, to the 10-yard line, to the 5, to the end zone. I'm telling you, he is not human. He's from another world. Travis Hunter, after missing 3 games, he caught it on a crossing pattern. He spun a man into the ground and then took it into the end zone of 24 yards.
Well, actually, Deion is back for a 2nd season in the Big 12, 3rd at Colorado as the head coach. He will not have Travis Hunter doing Travis Hunter kind of things.
Mark Johnson.
Season. Mark Johnson.
Yeah, he's the CU. Isn't he the CU broadcaster you've talked to a few times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy's great.
Is it Mark Johnson? Is it?
I apologize, Mr.
Johnson
for
something along
butchering your
those
last name, but yeah, he's great.
He is very good.
Good
for
call
sure.
too.
4-8 in their first season. They went 1-8. They had that terrible end of the season in 2023. Last year, though, 9 wins, 9-4. They finished 7-2. They tied for first in the Big 12 Conference. They finished ranked 25th in the country, looking for bigger and better things this year in year 3. Let's hear from Deion Sanders, who was, of course, the toast of the town in his backyard of Dallas, Texas today. And he, again, 6th year as a head coach overall. Jackson State for 3 seasons. Colorado for now going into his 6th season. He also coached in high school for a number of years at his own Prime Prep. Deion Sanders today in Frisco.
Sanders, Coach will start with an opening statement and then open it up for questions. Thank you.
Oh, God is good. I have no idea how good he is. Brett Yormark, I love you, man. I appreciate you. I think we have the best commissioner. I know we have the best commissioner in college football. Man that has called me daily, checked on me, make sure I'm straight, make sure I'm getting better and better. And I love you to life, my brother. I know you're somewhere clean as the Board of Health right now. And I love you to life, and you are absolutely the best. What you have in store for the Big 12. Rick, my AD, love you to life. You've always believed. You've always been a man of a standard, and I thank you for giving me a tremendous opportunity. The coaches of the Big 12 are incredible. I love them. They've been calling, checking on me, making sure I'm straight. But you talk about knowing football, teaching football, communicating with their kids. None of this stupid animosity or jealousy. I love the coaches of the Big 12. I want to beat them all, but I love them. I truly do. We've sold out season tickets for the 3rd straight season and 11th time in CU history. Prior to 2023, it had been 26 years since we sold out, which is incredible. I'm truly thankful for that. Class rankings, class number 24 overall, 3rd straight top 25 class. First time on record, 3 straight top 25 classes. I love it. Our coaching staff, this is without Byron Leftwich, which I'm praying that he does the right thing, and Mike Zimmer. We have 160 years of NFL experience with those 2 added. That's 204 years of NFL experience, and I want those years. Last season, the first season in CU history, only team in the country to appear on network television or flagship station of ESPN every single darn game, and I love it. And as for right now, we have 4 games slated for network television as well as ESPN. There's Georgia Tech, Delaware, Houston, and BYU opening out the gate. So we will be seen and we will be heard and we will be known. You youngsters out there, they're still trying to decide where you want to land. Okay, we're gonna start off with a wonderful woman, because that's what I do, and I have that kind of respect. So let's put a microphone to one of the ladies. Let's go.
We'll go center right, 2nd row.
First of all, how you all doing? You good? You just saying that, or you good for real? There you go.
Hi, Coach Prime.
How you doing?
Glad to have you here with us, first
Love
of all,
your hair.
today.
Love your hair.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm Candace Lamb with D210 Sports.
Got you.
Coach Prime, you faced your own adversity recently, and while that's personal, your strength and how you've carried yourself publicly has been public. We've all seen it. I want to know how you instill that strength, obviously, in your players and this program, and how you merge that into the culture that you're shaping at Colorado.
Great question. First of all, I trust God with all my might, all my soul, and everything I have. I never waver. I never say, why me, regardless of what's ahead of me or what I see. Like, Lord, just use me. If you could use anything, you could use me. So I'm truly thankful. I'm truly a go-getter. I want to win at all costs. I want to win the right way. I want to set the right standards, and I want to prepare these young men for life, not just football. I want them to be professional. Second of all, I forgot, where's Mike Irvin, the playmaker? He came here with me today. Man, I love you to life, man. I just want you to know that. I want to tell everybody in front of I love you to life. I really do. Thank you. Don't make me cry up here. Thank you for being you, man. I really do. Boy, I love you. Let's go.
Center or left in the back?
David Ubben with The Athletic. Coach, what have been the challenges of your health issues, and what did an average day look like for you?
Athletic, sometimes y'all be on that bull junk, so I'm really not going to tell you much.
All right.
You know that. But I'm not here to talk about my health. I'm here to talk about my team.
Do you know what an average day look like for you on the range?
Average day, I'm looking good. I'm living lovely. God has truly blessed me. Not a care in the world. Not a want or desire in the world. Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Center right.
Hey, Coach. Xavier McNevitz, Scope Up Sports. I wanted to ask about your wide receiver group going into the season.
They are unbelievable.
They are.
They are awesome. I can't wait to unleash them. They're great. Now, you got to understand, they're replacing some dogs that all of them will be in a professional, all four of them will be in a professional camp from a year ago. But these young men are unbelievable. I can't wait till the world get a glimpse of these receivers. We have some youngsters from freshmen on up that can flat out go get it. And I'm proud. I'm proud of our recruits, our coaches. I'm proud of what we've brought into Boulder, Colorado.
Center or left, second row.
Hey, Coach, Ryan Koenigsberg from DNVR. First of all, how are you feeling today?
What's going on, boss?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Don't I look good?
You look great.
Well, thank you. I look good. I'm feeling good.
Your quarterback room also looks great. You have two really talented players.
We brought both of them because I don't know which one's going to start.
My question to you is, would you be comfortable with a situation where both guys played?
Yeah. As long as they're doing their jobs and we winning, we definitely want to continue to develop Juju, but Caden is unbelievable. Caden's off the chain. He's been there, done that. He can get the job done. I wouldn't have brought him here if I didn't trust him. But Juju is coming on around the mountain when he comes. And I love him. I love what he brings to the table. I don't know how it's going to play out, as long as it plays out. We can't lose either way with either of those two.
Fourth row, center right.
Coach Prime, how are you?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm Jarrett Ramirez with RedRaidersports.com. You talked a lot about Media Day last year about your relationship with Joey McGuire at Tech. I'm just curious if you paid attention at all to what they've been doing in the portal, especially.
Yeah, Joey got some money. Joey, where you at, baby? Spending that money. I love it. I love it. Once upon a time, you guys was talking junk about me going in that portal. Now, when everybody go in the portal, it's okay. It's cool when they do it. But it's a problem when I do it. Ain't that a rap song? First of all, let's get this straight. I love me some Joey McGuire. And one of the best coaches in our conference. I've seen him excel from high school all the way to where he is now, and he's a winner. And I absolutely love it. And you know, I love him because he's a man of standard. We played there last year, and we was getting bombarded by them tortillas. I don't know how to say it. Somebody say it. Tortillas. We was getting bombarded by that. And Joey grabbed the microphone and told him to stop throwing at us, or it's going to be some consequences. And I love that. And I love Joey. Joey, I know you're out there, baby. I love you, man. I appreciate you. Can you send, a few of those dollars to us so we can get some of those players, too?
Center or left in the back.
Good afternoon, Coach. Alyssa Cooper with the Fort Worth
Where you at,
Star-Telegram.
baby? I can't. Where you at? Okay, there you go. There you go.
Coach, you've spoken very positively about the Big 12, and I was just wondering, how do you build out the long-term plans for your program, given that the conference has grown and changed over the years?
Well, I started this by saying I love our commissioner, I love our AD, and they provided a luxury of growth, of unity, and respect. So our long-term plans are to win. Our short-term plans are to win. I have a simple formula. It's like 40-40-20, grad transfers, and high school kids. So I stick to what we do, what we know that works for us. It may not work for somebody else, but it works for us. And it's been working for us, so I'm pleased with it. Great question.
Center left, fourth row.
Hey, Coach. Justin Lasser, Toasted Devil's Digest over here. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
You and Kenny Dillingham both got started at your respective programs
Yeah.
at the same time in the Pac-12. Played them that year. You guys won. Now made the transition to the Big 12, and you guys play again this year, except 2 years later, they're coming in as Big 12 champions. So
Yeah.
what could you say just about what Kenny's done for
First
that
of all,
program?
Coach Dillingham is unbelievable. He's a dear friend. We go way back. I thought we was going to have the opportunity to coach together at one point, but he's excelled, man. And what he did last season was darn believable. I didn't get jealous. I didn't get sensitive. I was just proud of him because, you know, we were virgins together coming into the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful. The Pac-12 did in the Big 12. So I'm thankful that he did the doggone thing that was unbelievable, and now he's soaring. And I'm just happy, man. I want to see everybody get together. I want to see everybody win, except when they play us. But I want to see everybody win. But I'm proud of Coach Dillingham and what his relationship with those kids and those young men. And I know some of them personally, that he is who he says he is, and I'm proud of him.
Center right, second row.
Hi, Coach Sanders.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. So, it being your third year as the Colorado Buffaloes head coach, what are your expectations for the program this coming season?
We want to win. We want to win at all costs. We want to be in that championship game, not here at the Star, but over in that other big house that Jerry's built. That's what we want to do, and that's what we're gearing up for. That's all we're playing for. We play to win. We don't just play to compete.
All right, that is none other than Deion Sanders, the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. Does he have a trademark on the word "dern"? I think he's the only person I've ever heard use the word "dern." Doesn't say damn. I'll say damn, but you never hear Prime say that. He says "dern."
Have you ever heard a head coach get a question and say, "Where you at, baby"? Have you ever heard that?
That was funny. Where you at, baby? Love your hair. You know, I mean, he gave the ladies the first shot today, but he'll also point out their features for sure. So, gotta love Coach Prime. He is something for sure, and he loves him some Brett Yormark. Let me tell you that he loves him some Brett Yormark, and he apparently loves him some Kenny Dillingham too. So I'd be interested to hear where they might have had a chance to coach with each other. That was something he threw out there that I had not heard before. But Coach Prime, Deion Sanders of the Colorado Buffaloes, now in season number 3. All right, DK on the Sports Tip. If you want to dive in on anything that you've heard, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. When we come back, the Phoenix Mercury get a big win today over the Minnesota Lynx. Without two of their stars, you will hear how Alyssa Thomas and company got it done with Satu Sabli and Clea Copper sitting on the bench. How did they beat the best team in the league without those two players today? Alyssa will tell you straight ahead after cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with traffic and weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Old Nogales Highway and Lumber Street and Old Nogales Highway. Also crash at Oracle and Hardy and road work on 5th, 6th Street between Alvernon and Campbell. You could use Broadway or Speedway instead. And for your weather, an extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86 the low, 109 tomorrow, and 109 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Takis Fuego meal. Wendy's new Takis Fuego meal is here with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich and small Fuego fries inspired by Takis Fuego chips with a 1-ounce Takis Fuego bag and a drink. Grab yours today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's while supplies last. Takis and Fuego are used under license.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
That's right. What's right? What the singing people just said. Gary, you have your earbuds in. I don't know what you're hearing. Oh, this.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
That's right.
Hi, guys. What's right?
That I have my earbuds in.
No, you don't.
We were listening to the singing people.
Maybe I should go out and come back in again.
It's the thing about how we arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Oh, right. It's the Alaskan AC guarantee, so people aren't left waiting for a repairman. Don't we have singing people for that?
Yes, here, use my earbuds.
Gross.
Just play it, Gary.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
That's right.
I know, right? Right. I'm glad we had this meeting. AlaskanAC.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. Scott Frost is back at UCF. However, he recently talked about his time in Nebraska and said he learned to not take the wrong job and came up with some lame bullcrap excuse how he was basically forced to take the job at his alma mater but never actually wanted to. The fact is, Frost as a coach was a disaster in Lincoln. In every close game he urinated down his leg, he compiled a putrid 16-31 record and obviously never made a bowl game. And clearly he still can't take any ownership of his failures. I'm Zach Gelb.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Phoenix Mercury have made a habit this season of digging themselves early holes and having to come back to win basketball games. Could they do it again today?
X Factor making some noise. The offense running through Collier, but it's stolen away. Thomas, physicality, Mercury on top.
So if I told you, this game started at 12:30 today. If I had told you that the Phoenix Mercury were going to play the best team in the league, the Minnesota Lynx, who entered today's game with 10 consecutive wins, and one of the all-star captains in Fifita Collier, and the Mercury were going to play this game today without Satu Sabali and without Kalia Copper. Satu Sabali, who averages 19 points and grabs 8 rebounds. Kalia Copper, who's just coming back from injury, but averages 17 points. And if I added to that the Mercury would shoot 1 of 16 from three-point land, would you think Phoenix would have won the game?
No.
Not in the least. I don't even know if I would have thought that they would have covered the 7-point spread that they were down on. +7 with those types of obstacles, without 2 of your stars and missing 15 of 16 3-point shots a game after. What did they make? What did we say? They shot 63% the other night in beating Dallas, but they won 79-71 thanks to a 29-point performance by Alyssa Thomas, who scored 8 points in the final 3.5 minutes of the game to help the Mercury rally for the victory. Let's hear from Alyssa Thomas on her. Hey, she can dish. We talked about it all week long. She's one of the best dishers in the league. 15 assists the other night against Dallas, but tonight she had to be the scorer, and she did an absolutely great job of that.
Hey guys, congrats on the win. So I have a question for Alyssa. You've had a career high in points with 29 points. Talk to me about what fired you up this afternoon.
Honestly, I just wanted to win. I think we were right in the game the whole entire time. We just started picking up our defensive pressure, and I just felt it was my moment to take over.
Alyssa, how do you feel like you've grown most as a scorer over the course of your career?
I've always been a scorer. I'm top in Maryland history, men and women. So for me, it's just about reading the game and making right plays. And tonight, I felt like it was the night for me to just go out there and score.
And when you needed to score, of course, Makani took over a lot of that facilitating. How has she grown as a facilitator?
Yeah, Mo, each and every night, she just grows as a player. I think we challenged her defensively to get over screens. And, she was phenomenal down the stretch. And once she saw the paint was open, she was just attacking.
For both of you guys, this is at least the third game this season where you've been down by 6+ points in the final 5 minutes and won by at least 6 points. What are the feelings in those crunch time minutes and the ability to rally like that?
It's not a time to panic. 5 minutes when you think about it is a lot of time. For us, we were getting stops. Sometimes we weren't securing the rebounds or, taking some rush shots on the other end. But overall, I think we were happy with what we were doing, and we knew that our shots were going to fall.
Catherine Westbrook also contributed in the last few minutes. Can you explain to me how much it means to the team?
Yeah, second possessions are huge. That's something we talked about in, shoot around and before the game about, Minnesota gives up a lot of O boards. So for Cat to go in there and get us extra possessions down the stretch, those are winning plays, and that's what playoff teams do.
Catherine Westbell, 7.6 rebounds, 2 steals in the ball game. Monica Cole-Makani had 13 points on 6 of 13 shooting. That it doesn't get better than that win, though. When you're playing without two of your top scorers and you can't make a 3-point shot for them to win that game by 8 coming back late at home, That's the biggest win of the year by far for this young.
I feel like that's the story of the season if you had to pick one, because if you remember early, the first 5-6 games, it was all defense. Like they were winning games based on their defense.
Right.
More recently, knocking down outside shots, finding a way to win in multiple ways, Dragon Ball. I mean, this is basically a brand new team. A lot of different new people. Obviously, Copper's back, and she was the leading scorer last year. But, without Tarasi and Griner, it's a completely different star-based lineup with those older players. They've just found a way to get it done.
Not to mention the injuries have kind of been something that has happened throughout the year. So there's been different lineups seemingly every month for this squad. And bringing in DeWanna Bonner, you have that veteran leadership back in that locker room, which maybe that's something, well, again, veteran in the sense of someone that's been with the Mercury for a while, knows what the mentality and the actual expectations are for the franchise. Again, we've talked about there's some veterans on this team, but you wouldn't know it based on their rookie status and things of that nature. But you have that now with DeWanna Bonner coming back in, Alyssa Thomas being able to go ahead and come in with this particular performance and really showing out. There's a lot of good signs to be had with this team, and then you look at them as a whole for the WNBA. It's not a bad spot for them right now. They still could potentially be one of those squads that ends up being maybe a top seed.
Yeah, they're right there right now. My question is, did somebody check on the Cardinals recently? Because you're talking about the Diamondbacks injury issues and the Mercury more recently. Something in the water up there in Phoenix.
Well, not to mention the Suns also this past season had a lot of their own issues too. Maybe that was just the 2024 season, and now the 25 season will be the one that gets everybody nice and healthy. I know that certainly in Tucson, that's certainly the hope, because maybe it was just an Arizona problem.
How about Alyssa Thomas dropping? Hey, I'm the all-time leading scorer, men and women, from Maryland.
Like, Alyssa, when did you get so good at scoring? Well, let me tell you about my college days, which were 15 years ago, where I set the all-time record.
Here's the question, though. Can you name the all-time leading scorer at Maryland on the men's side? I don't know that I've heard of this player.
I know they had a guard in like the late 90s who put up a bunch of buckets.
That would be the right time
in their
frame.
heydays, but I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Juan Dixon.
Yeah, Juan Dixon. Yeah.
Juan Dixon scored 2,269 points in his career at the University of Maryland. Alyssa Thomas, I just had it here, scored more than that, though. I just lost it, though.
I remember the guy that was potentially going to be attempting to take over for Juan Dixon when he got to the NBA. That was an old trivia question of mine back when I was in college, was Grievous Vasquez, who was number 2 on the all-time Maryland scoring list.
Yeah, he was highly thought of. Yeah, for sure.
2,356 points for Alyssa Thomas all time. All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet. The head coach of your Arizona Wildcats football team, Brent Brennan, today at Big 12 Football Media Days.
All right, good to see everybody. It's great to be here. It's been a really fun and busy day. I've got 6 incredible players with me representing the University of Arizona. Going to be talking a lot about just what a busy offseason it's been for us. Obviously, last fall was unacceptable for our staff, our program, and our university, and we're busy fixing that ever since. We've had a crazy time in the portal. Spring ball went really well, put together a really good recruiting class, made some tough decisions on our coaching staff, and I love the direction we're headed. So it's an exciting time for us. Football we've never seen anything like it, but it's also an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be a part of the Big 12 Conference. I think this conference is so deep and everybody is well coached. There's high-level talent, and there's a really fun game to watch. And I think that part of it is exciting for us at U of A because I feel like it's a conference that is deep, but everybody has a chance to win. And that's something I'm really excited about. So we're hard at work this offseason. This summertime, our players are getting after it in the Tucson heat. And I love where we're headed, and I love what we're doing.
That is none other than Brent Brennan, the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats football team. It is your Desert Diamond Casino replay. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook, which is Arizona's best bet. Football. I guess now we've had media days, we can officially start the season. I think maybe we may do this tomorrow or Friday, Just kind of because, again, we didn't get a poll, so we don't know who the favorite is to win. I can tell you what the books think. The books say Arizona State, Kansas State, and Baylor are all going to be at the top. Those are the three favorites if you are looking over on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. Then Texas Tech, Utah round out the top 5. TCU, Iowa State, BYU, Kansas, and Colorado 6-10. Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida 11, 12, 13. And then Arizona, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia are all at the bottom at plus 6,600 right now. So those are the three teams that they figure will finish between 14 and 16. So do you think Arizona, we'll just say that. I'm going to make this tomorrow's question of the day. I'll put it out tonight, and you guys can all vote on it all night long. Where do you think this Arizona team is going to finish? 1st through 4th? 5th through 8th? 9th through 12th? Or 13th through 16th? We'll give you those 4 choices, and we'll talk about that at length starting tomorrow, where you think this team is going to finish.
Somebody call up Glenn and Kelvin and tell them that their time off is almost over.
Almost over. It is almost over. 21 days left before college football season officially begins with the start of fall camp. And we'll be out there with all your coverage. This will be the place to be with the best analysis you're going to find in town. Nobody brings former players to you like we do. With Glenn Howe and Calvin Ifan and all the folks that we'll have on.
Get your memories, DK.
That's right. Get your memories. It's time to go out there and get some memories. Positive memories, hopefully, for this Arizona football team under Brent Brennan. Appreciate everyone that was a part of the show today. Dragon Ball David Amata, as well as JW Madden and Cricket. My name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock, right here. DK on the Sports Tip. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
And from the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions reported Wilmot and Broadway, Broadway and Wilmot, also Old Nogales Highway and Lumber Street. Road work on Grant east of Country Club to east of Columbus. Extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 86 the low, 109 tomorrow, and 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. It's cake batter. It's cookie dough. It's the new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard treat. Now at participating DQ locations for a limited time. Fly in today for this cosmic collision of flavor. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ. Happy tastes good.
With Trainmasters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. Trainmasters, we do it all. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. TrainmastersTucson.com.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Progressive knows there are 2 things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com. If you're ready to build your dream home, let the Window Depot help. Our expertise spans more than 20 years helping contractors provide custom windows built to last. Our in-house design team works closely with you and your contractor to create the perfect windows. From design to delivery, your contractor will have exactly what they need when they need it. And with the largest inventory and unbeatable prices, your dream windows are just a step away. Visit us in store to get started or find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. Best prices, biggest inventory.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart strategy does. Cumulus digital campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by over 25%. You're not average, and your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to leave average behind.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station, your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is the JR Sport Brief show on the Infinity Sports Network. Coming to you live from Atlanta.